I miss you too. Been so
Man,
busy we haven't been able to connect.
Hey, yeah, how you guys doing?
what's up, Greeno?
Hey, not a whole lot. That's good to see you. Yeah, I
You
like your
too.
background. That looks dope as shit.
Thank you.
I
That
love it.
looks cool. That is neat.
I like
That
my
is,
intro.
yeah, I do too. I've seen you say that. I like your voice. That you said the thing I like about your channel is your voice, and I'm like, well, every time you play it, every day is on your channel.
Oh yeah, people
Yeah.
ask me about it too. People ask me if hold on, me. I think I have you. It's echoing. I think I have it double on here. One sec. Yeah, people ask me if that's your voice.
Yeah, they recognize it. That's funny. I'm glad that
They
I'm
do.
going to be known like that movie guy, right?
That's
Like
Yeah.
that
good.
guy in the movies, I'll be known as that true crime voiceover guy.
The true crime.
Oh, so what do you guys think about this case? We got a lot going on. There was more stuff filed today that I saw.
I can't
Um,
keep up.
I can't either, Marv. And I know that Jay can't either. And I'm Dan. I'm sure, and I'm sure you can't either. None of us can. You know what I mean? That's why it
No,
takes us all. We can't keep
no,
up
all
with it.
Twitter.
Yeah,
It's all
I can't.
Twitter and finding people who have the documents.
It is, and it's trying to. Okay, so like Rick Snay did a live stream earlier. Was talking pretty bad about me about one of my latest videos where I was talking about, whether David Hennessy paid a cop to lie. Okay, and if you pay attention real quick in that video, I actually didn't say that happened. I just questioned the fact of whether it did because someone said that they reported that to the police that had happened. And if they reported that to the police, I reported that it was reported that it happened, right? But here's my reason why he said that's deceiving your viewers. It's not deceiving my viewers because this is the way I look at it, everybody. I want you guys to tell me if I was wrong on this, okay? So yes, in a way, I lied, okay? But I didn't really lie, but in a way I was deceiving in my presentation because that probably didn't happen, but it could have. But my response to that is the Odinism thing didn't happen, but it could have, right?
Right.
There's my response to that. So it's
Rick,
about narrative.
yeah, Rick Snay's whole channel to me. Am I echoing? I feel like I'm echoing. And I
You're
don't
not
know why.
echoing on my part.
No.
I
Okay,
don't know
good.
about the viewers.
Good.
Are you
All
hearing
right.
your own voice?
Yeah.
No, it's just weird. Anyway, if I'm not echoing, then we're good. But yeah, Rick Snay's whole channel. I wonder what is going to happen after the trial.
I do too, because today he said, I said, you can come on here. And he's like, no, last time I came on there, you made a bunch of shorts about me and you. And I was like, well, AI actually did that. But that's what you do as a creator is make shorts out of your channel, and
Right.
he poses interesting conversations sometimes. I mean, I don't have a problem with Rick as a person. We
Right.
have totally opposing views. And he's mad that I posted that, right? Because he's like, that's you shouldn't do that. But I'm like, okay, in defense, that's exactly what the defense team is doing this whole time. Is they're just saying things that aren't true just to make people hear it because they know it doesn't go any further than that. All they have to do is hear it and run with it, right? If they came out today and said that some guy dressed like Mickey Mouse was in the woods, people would run with that for the rest of time. I'm serious.
Yes, they would.
I mean, I
It's
come
a
to your
PR
channel.
tactic for sure.
I come to you for the real deal. Honestly, I literally, when I want to find out what's happening, I come to you. I know you're going to tell it like it is.
Yeah, I try. Or like
Yeah.
I want it to be.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I agree with you. So it's like it is.
Yeah, I know. So you've been covering Madeline Soto, right?
Oh God, yes, I have.
Big time. That's
Yes.
your Delphi.
That is.
That's
That is.
horrifying.
I've seen it. Huh, Dan?
Okay.
Oh, Sam, that case is
So-
horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
And I
Dan.
heard a bunch of docs dropped on that one today too.
Oh, and I came on there. I was on there live to drop it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Poor JB. Hey JB. He couldn't
Yes.
get it. The stream didn't come up, but one of my the crime crew brought it to me, and so I was able to stream the small people.
Okay.
Oh.
So My name is Anthony. Someone asked a question. Maya asked a question.
Yep.
My name is Anthony Greeno from True Crime Investigates. I have a YouTube channel. I pretty much talk about the Delphi murders because I'm from Delphi, and I'll let Marv introduce herself.
My name is Marv. I am with Beyond the Evidence, and we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We
That's
try
Jay.
to.
Guilty of crime.
Jay, guilty of crime, all true crime all the time.
And then Dan. Dan's a truck driver who's getting ready to drive through Indiana.
No, Ohio. It'd be
Oh,
Toledo.
Ohio. Okay.
Yeah, I
in
just
Toledo.
work out of Indiana.
All right, there you go. Okay, so he's once driven through Indiana. We'll say that.
I'm in
There you go.
Indiana right now.
Right now. There you go. That's so cool.
You're going to have to create another box.
I'm creating it now. All right, so
Okay.
That's
Uh-oh.
The worst part of this whole thing right
Sterling.
now is storm spotting season's going on too.
Storm spotting.
If anybody
Yeah.
lives over there, well, Wisconsin, if you're out there, you guys are looking at some hellacious storms coming up in the next 4
The
days.
next
3
4
days.
days. Yep.
Oh, Wisconsin,
You
yeah.
might see some tornadoes. Iowa.
No tornadoes here.
That's my other weird hobby.
No, keep those. I don't want
Where'd
them.
Sterling go?
Oh, he'll be back, I'm sure.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sterling's deep in the backwoods of Thailand, so who knows where he's going to be at.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
did.
Chris was
I
trying to
saw
come
him.
up, but he keeps going off before we can bring him on. So
Who? Chris?
Uh,
I
Chris.
keep seeing him. He keeps popping in and out, but he just disappears each
Right.
time. So I'm not sure what. We'll figure it out.
There he is.
Chris, you got to stay in there, dudes. Nope. He must be having issues.
Okay. Well, oh well. All right. So Delphi case. Where are you guys at with this? What's the last thing that you guys know happened? Let's start with guilty of crime.
Oh boy. What didn't I watch all your stuff, and I think honestly it's just a bunch of back and forth, and I saw the vigil, and then when I listened to what you talk about and others talk about, it's just a lot of back and forth from the defense, and I don't even know what it is because I don't take it very seriously. So honestly, I think it's just odinist is their defense, and then what else are they trying to do? Yeah, I do. That's pretty much it. Is the odinist theory that they're pushing hard, and then maybe another person being involved.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the defense team that's saying that.
Yeah, I don't
Not-
hear much from the prosecution, and that's the problem.
And that's what it is. Everyone's running around saying this one-sided thing. It's not really. They're not hearing the other side as yet, is what it is. You know,
Right.
we haven't heard anything. We're waiting on opening statements. I made my thumbnail and set up my live stream today for that.
That's the exact thing I've said too. Is the opening statements. You'll know day one almost whether the prosecution has a case or not.
Because they're going to lay it out. They're going to say, yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they're going to lay out everything. You'll find out if there's fingerprints or anything like that. Because the defense, I think Marv and I were talking about it earlier, the defense is not going to incriminate their client in any of their motions. So I don't know. I'm a fence sitter on it, man. I have no idea. I'm kind of anxiously waiting.
Okay. So, hey, Sterling, what's going on, dude?
What's up, y'all?
How you been?
I've been pretty good. Hope y'all are.
Where are you watching? Where are you at?
I'm in Thailand.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so.
We got a big time difference. So
Yeah. What time is it there? And date?
I think it's I don't even know. I think it's like 7. What day is it there? Thursday? It's like Friday here at 7 a.m. or something like that. I don't even know.
It's 7:00 in the morning on Friday. Okay. So it's Thursday night at 5:30 here.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, as far as the opening statements go, I feel like when the state comes out with theirs, it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to show you. And by the end of this, you will see. And we're going to answer all those pieces. And don't wait. Like, it's the time. Not right now. Not right now. but soon, and then it'll go the whole trial, and they'll never spell out anything because they don't really have anything.
Oh, Sterling, I can't wait to see the opening statements because I don't think so. I think they're gonna blow us away, even if they have 4 pieces of evidence. Even if they have 4 solid pieces of evidence, one being that Richard Allen was there that day. He went and well, what do you mean?
Like, Harvey Carroll has like over 70 people there that day.
Say I've read over 90.
So
I was one of
He
them.
was there.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
there, so like, okay. So,
Well, I didn't even
alright.
finish what I was saying, but okay. So maybe
Yeah.
as long as the prosecution doesn't get interrupted by Sterling and they lay out at least 4 major pieces, I think that we're gonna learn a lot more than we are now.
Sterling, you and I are going to have opening statements on the day of court. And tell our sides and see what we think.
I swear to God, and you better include the part that he was there that day. He said he was there that day. You know,
He
what I
was
mean?
there.
Like people keep repeating that so much as if it's gonna like just throw him underneath the jail. Like, yeah, he was there. A lot of people were there.
Okay.
And we didn't even know he was there until like yesterday. So
Yeah,
think about all the other people that we don't know that was out there that was actually out there. Who knows? I don't know.
Mhm. That's true.
I think the interesting thing is there's no real time of death either.
That we know of.
I guess they didn't perform the internal temperature thing until later. That's what I'd read. I think that was in one of the defense documents. Because, well, I mean, if you know anything about small communities, the coroners aren't like you see on CSI. So, and if they've sat out there so long, it would be hard to determine just off that. So, they have to have something. Maybe there's something on one of the phones that gives them a clearer thing. I don't know.
You don't think the jury's gonna care that he confessed? You don't think that? You think poor Richard Allen, they have him in?
No,
he's so weak and he's
that.
small.
I want to know what he actually confessed to, because I know the defense only brought out 2 of the confessions, but what did he actually confess to? And
killing
one of
the girls.
He said he shot him.
Well, here's the thing.
He shot him in the back.
May have. He might have.
Yeah,
we don't know that. Look, that's the thing that we don't know. That might look. Here's the thing that we haven't pondered. He might have shot them, and we don't know that. And that's why everyone's like, "Oh, they only got this stupid bullet, and the gun wasn't even used because they were stabbed." And when those FBI agents and the prosecutor talked about postmortem activity, and they've always said that this is weird and creepy and stuff. Okay, and they'd have indication that the killer may have photographed or videotaped the crime scene. So I'm thinking it is a possibility that, and if there's anybody out there that doesn't want to hear this, the family members or anybody like that, tune off, because what I'm going to say is graphic about them. They, what it is we don't know that, but we know that they were stabbed multiple times. At least one of them was. Okay, very bad. He may have done things to them after that to fulfill his sexual gratification or just to hurt them and inflict damage. Okay. He may have shot them, and that's why he had to cycle the gun again. Okay. And that's why the second one fell out. You see what I'm saying? Because he cocked it once back when he was on the bridge when he told him to go down the hill. And when they went, after they got to wherever they were at, there was a bullet found. So he had to eject. He may have shot him. We don't know. That may be part of what comes out.
How do you explain the bullet?
Well, here's my thought. Here's my thought on this whole thing.
The voice of reason.
This is the biggest case of their lives. The prosecutor, the law enforcement, all of them, right? They are not going to come out and arrest a gentleman for no reason. It's not going to happen. They've got evidence on him. They've got enough evidence that make them certain that he is involved.
Yeah, didn't you hear? He was there that day.
He's going to play on that one the whole time, right?
That's the thing that worries me, though. I mean, even from listening to Greeno way back then, you find out how one, Carroll County's all screwed up, and two, there were hundreds, if not, multiple hundred investigators out there. I don't know, and they didn't look at the tip until however
Yeah,
long later.
exactly.
They don't even have the recorded tip.
So it's not
nobody
like
knows
he
even
was
what that says.
It's not like he was a fall guy and they just wanted to arrest someone. Now, Sterling, you keep saying he was there that day. He went and he told them he was there that day. There's a bullet that matches his bullets, and we don't know what it matches, right? He confessed. He's got the evidence stacking up. It's not because he was there. It's because he was there and he went and told them so he can clear himself and say, hey, I was here, but he walked through the woods. Didn't he walk through the woods back to the car instead of the regular route? I mean, the
That part I
odinist.
don't know.
Honestly, odinist theory is just crazy. Like conspiracy theory.
I find
Here's
it
what-
crazy too that there are even that many people over there that are into that crap.
Well, it's a
I
small
never
meth
knew that.
town. It's full of
Yeah.
meth. They're bored.
Yeah, it's funny. That's all there is to do. Everybody just sit around and smoke meth all the time.
You've got so many rumors and everything going around in this case from day one that are known as facts now. We don't know the facts, you guys. We have no idea what actually happened. You can read the defense's motions and everything else and take that as truth, but it's not. Parts of it are.
Right.
But they're spinning it to make sure that their client looks innocent and to prove reasonable doubt.
The defense is
We are
doing
not
a
going
good
to
job.
know. We're
In
not
the
going to know
media,
anything
Right. I was
for
confused
fact
about this too.
until this trial happens.
I was confused.
Thanks, I mean, John. You're right, Marv. We don't know what happened, but we do know that the odinist thing has finally been cleared.
You were cutting out there, Chris. I don't know what you said.
You're right. You're right, Marv. We don't know what happened, but we do know that the odinist theory has finally been cleared.
Has it?
Did someone clear that?
How do we know that?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Please.
I'll tell you.
That's what you guys said
said
just
that.
like a few days ago, right?
I said that. Yes. Yes, I did say that.
Anthony may believe that, but we have no facts that is true.
So I have. Well,
How do you know, Anthony? Are you in contact with the cops or anything like that?
No, he did it. He was there that day.
I was there. No.
Tell us why. I want to know.
Yes. Yeah. I was in contact with somebody that just offered some information that I've known for a little bit of time, not long, but just a little bit of time, that I just decided to share because it's like these people keep pushing this Odinism theory to a T, and okay, so I'm like, okay, is there any truth to that? And they're like, look, no. Okay, these people were cleared. This dude never even left his house. Okay, Elvis Fields never even left his house from 2/9 to 2/19.
That person you spoke to, though, who were they, and
I'm not
how
going to tell
did they
who
know?
that is. I'm not going to tell who that person is because technically those are not even supposed to talk about that.
Well, my thing is okay, is Carroll County law enforcement that messed up that they did not investigate them? I mean, come on. They had to have looked at them and had a reason why they weren't involved.
Yeah, Sean makes sense. Bianchi and
Can
the sticks weren't even Odinist symbols.
you at least tell us whether that person you spoke to is with law enforcement or with
Yes.
the DA's office or something, Anthony?
That person is someone who previously worked on the case and is a law enforcement officer. Yep. And that will come out in court. And you know what I mean? So these are things that are going to be told in court that come out that here's the thing. A lot of people keep saying, show your receipts, show proof of this, show that.
Nope.
But I noticed something, and I want you guys to really think about this. I noticed something big time. What I said I had in my possession and that I saw on my live stream, the defense team has now filed a motion trying to compel the prosecutor to provide that information to them. So the defense team wonders what I have, and you know what I mean? They wonder what's out there because they're asking exactly for it. People from the defense team come into the chats and ask things. Everyone asks to see these things, and I'm not going to show it to them. I understand why the cops have been so secretive this whole time.
Wait, the defense knows that you correspond with the cops and the DAs and stuff? Wow.
I don't correspond with the DA's office.
With the cops or whatever, I mean. Or they know that you know things, I guess.
They assume I know things, is what I would say.
Well, here's
They
one for you, Anthony.
wonder what I know. Yeah, what's up?
I was talking with CJ and Julie Melvin last night. She was talking about someone had hacked some. She wouldn't say anything other than somebody had hacked somebody's Gmail. Do you know anything about that? And
No.
it didn't seem too good as far as the the thing for the defense side. It seemed like somebody may have hacked somebody's Gmail and given it to the state, but I don't know.
That someone may
You
have
gotta
hacked.
realize that, yeah, you
Yes,
gotta realize
somebody
that
hacked
there's-
into the Gmail account associated with the defense, not necessarily the defense team, but I don't know. It seemed like she was talking about Richard Allen, and there was incriminating stuff on there. I don't know. That's you'd have to listen to like the last 3 minutes of CJ's thing last night because I didn't. They cut it off right after that because everybody was drinking, I think, but I didn't get to get any elaboration on it. It
Hey, you
sounded
know what?
nutty.
I threw the offer for CJ to come on here tonight. Everybody was welcome to come on here. While I was in Rick Snake's chat, the Unraveling, Rick, CJ, everyone else that doesn't like me was there. I said, you guys are welcome to come on my channel and talk, and I'll let you say what you guys want to say, as long as you stay on the case topic, not come in here and be like, oh, you're a criminal or this, that, and the other, because that has nothing to do
And
with
as
the
long
case.
as you're not disrespectful to any of, we are adults. We can talk about this in an adult way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
You know,
appreciate you having me on here.
Greeno hasn't been a criminal for a long time, everybody. He's a good content creator and he makes amazing videos. So anybody that's here in my chat, just so you know, that's who Greeno is. And he's going to make a dope documentary. I mean, look at his panel right now. Look at what he's got going on. I mean, his videos are top notch. So you being a criminal has nothing to do with what you do. That's old past shit.
I know. It gives me character and brings me to a better person. Listen, also, people, I've arrested some people too because I used to be a bounty
There you go.
hunter. I've been on both sides. I even arrested myself when I got a warrant. No. Actually, speaking of that, I wanted to say thank you right now to somebody before I forget. So someone made a contribution of $1,000 to this fund.
Oh yeah.
For this documentary fund, and it brought it to this right here. And I want to say thank you to that person and every single person out there that's contributed to that or just shared the videos or spread the word about those things. Thank you. So whoever did that, I appreciate you and everyone else.
During the trial, I wonder if we'll finally be able to see what other evidence they have against Richard Allen, including whatever they found in his vehicle and whatever they found at his residence that connected him to the murders.
Chris, that's all going to come out.
But
Any evidence they have against Richard Allen will come out in this trial.
I wonder why they released the evidence about that bullet before the trial, though.
They didn't, actually.
Maybe the other evidence they have is going to be stronger or something.
No, well, they actually didn't release that evidence about the bullet, Chris. To think about it, the defense. So everything was sealed when he was arrested. Nobody knew anything, and the defense team was insistent that the public saw his probable cause affidavit.
Right.
And they were so insistent that the judge finally granted their motion and said, "Okay, I'm going to unseal all these documents." When they did that, we found out about the bullet. And if you notice, everything that we found out has been because the defense has allowed us to find out by their motions.
Great.
The prosecution doesn't come out and say this, and this. The defense says things, and then we have to decipher what's true out of that because they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, some of it has to come out, right? When you arrest somebody, there's going to be a hearing, and you have to give a judge. A lot of times, it's not sealed, so you have to go before a judge and get them arrested by giving some evidence. Look at Koberger; they only gave us a small bit of evidence, and you got all these Koberger fans. Oh, he didn't do it. I mean, but we only have a little bit of evidence, and they're doing a Delphi thing now with these ridiculous defense tactics, and that's what I feel like Delphi is going to be when we get to court.
Yeah, you know
Well,
what they're
and that's
saying?
why-
He was stargazing. He was looking at the stars in the middle of the night, which he's done so many times.
And
Yeah,
that's
but if
why
you-
this is totally a
I
circus.
think
is
that makes you look
because
worse.
Absolutely,
Everybody's
Marv.
listening to what the defense is dropping, and they're taking it as truth.
Well,
Oh,
but
I'm
because
sorry. Not all of it is truth because they're not going to point out the things that make the client look guilty.
that's because they don't have
They're going to
good
tell you what
defense.
makes them not look guilty.
No, and see, I agree with you too, Marv, except I don't think they're allowed to actually lie. That's one thing people forget. They're allowed to, like, mislead in a way, but they're not legally allowed to lie in those motions.
I'm not saying they're lying.
No, I know. I was
But
just
they
saying
are.
I'm just
the
saying they're
chat's sake.
pointing out only things that are going to help their defense and
Oh,
create
yeah.
reasonable doubt.
Of course.
You're right. And you know what? I mean, I do think that they're lying. They are. I think that they're lying in these motions because of this reason. They're straight up saying that these odinist guys killed him as part of a ritualistic sacrifice.
True.
I mean, they said that. And that's not true. We all know that, right? If the cops really thought that that was the case, they would have arrested those guys. But they didn't, right? So, like, what they're saying is they're actually doing exactly what the cops have told us this entire time for 7 years. Hey, don't be pointing the finger at people publicly online, posting videos about people saying this guy's the killer, that guy's the killer, when nobody's been arrested. You know, like when we arrest someone, that's the person we think's the killer. So
Right.
it's like, I don't know. They're now doing it, pointing the fingers at people. That's dangerous for those odinist guys. They should be able to sue the hell out of them.
Maybe they're
Right?
Richard Allen fans too, and they want to cause reasonable doubt.
You know what? Yeah, and that's why the odinist guards were in prison.
Exactly, and tattooing it on their face or whatever.
Yeah, they're all in on it together. It's like this. It's a freaking horror movie, isn't it?
It is a horror movie, and I absolutely can't wait until the 13th so we can hear this. And I hope the jury's smart enough to not listen to those things. I mean, if you get an odinist book with the symbols, it doesn't even match the symbols, even close. Even when it's photoshopped, it still doesn't match the symbols. I mean, we've talked about that a bunch, and I saw your channel where you laid things out. It doesn't look like it. I don't know what they're even, but for dumb
I'll
people,
be
I
right
guess
back.
it gets them.
So,
I gotta let the dogs out. I've got a
Go ahead.
dog whining.
Go ahead.
since it wasn't ritualistic after all, I wonder what the motive is then.
I don't
Reno.
know. The motive?
Yeah, Greeno talked about that yesterday. What you thought the motive was?
What do
I
you
think
think?
the
Possibly.
motive is sexual in nature, everybody. I mean, I just don't see how we can get past that it's not, considering the interviews that I played on my channel with Robert Ives, who's the former Carroll County prosecutor and the former behavioral analysis unit FBI agent, Mary Ellen O'Toole. Both talked about the crime scene signatures, post-mortem activity, why someone would do something like this. And then I started looking at Daniel Nations was our first person of interest. He looked like the sketch. He was a sex offender and he was on the run. That was the first clue we had. So we're looking at a sex offender is what I thought.
Right.
There was the first person of interest was a sex offender.
Then
So I
Potato
thought,
Head.
we're looking for that. Okay. So then after the sex offender thing, when we got to the 1 year press conference, the police came out, and it's on Michael Catt's channel, and I played it on my video today, and said, this person's never committed a crime before. Right. And so I said, okay, then that means we're looking for a person who's never been arrested. So anybody that's been arrested that comes up in my radar, cleared, I can say cleared right off the bat. That's exactly what I said. And
I'm gonna hop off real quick. I gotta grab my daughter, but I'll be back. Everyone's listening. Sorry about that.
Here. We'll be here.
All right.
We'll be here.
But do you believe Richard Allen acted alone though? Because those girls who saw him said that he was walking like he was on a mission, and that he was walking with a purpose.
Yes, I think he acted alone. I think that it only tells us that. I think it shows that in the probable cause affidavit, and eventually, on that documentary that I'm making, I'm going to show all this in like a kind of show you guys how people look as they're walking around and how it really happened.
What I'm saying though is, do you think somebody told him that Libby and or Abby were going to be on the trails that day?
I think that we're going to find out in court that somehow he knew. Yes.
Yes. Somebody had to tell him, and if so, then that person is just as guilty, an accessory, if not more.
Yeah. Well, I think
What's
that he
your
is the
take
main
on
culprit.
the witness descriptions all being different?
So I don't think they're all that different, and I don't know what the truth is regarding who really said what, because I don't know what to believe. What I think is, I know that the young girls that passed him, one said he was wearing black, one said he was wearing blue. Okay. And when I think about that, I actually went and got a coat to use as a prop like his. And I look at that, and it's black sometimes and it's blue sometimes. And also the two girls both saw the same guy. So and he confirmed.
Let me elaborate on what I was asking, because the black, that lady said he was wearing all black, and then the blue, there was a blue sweatshirt or something, and then there was tan, which we know the bridge guy from the FBI thing had tan on, but I just wondered, because I feel like people think the case is going to hang on that, but I don't think they're going to, being that there's that many indiscrepancies, I don't see that being it's like the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Cubic Z, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Where are you calling from?
I live in Vegas.
Vegas, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Brett.
I'm sorry?
What'd you say, Chris?
Brad Holder, Johnny Messner, Patrick Westphal, and Elvis Fields have all finally been cleared, but do you think Keegan Klein... Do you think Keegan Klein could still have been involved though?
Yeah, I do think Keegan Klein could have been involved.
He hasn't been completely cleared.
No, he hasn't been completely cleared. So, okay, so I just posted it. People are asking, how do we call in? Here's how you call in. You click that link that's posted in the chat box, or it's pinned in my chat. Or it shows up over here. If you guys can see that, I don't know if it shows up on Guilty of Crimes channel or not for you guys. Hopefully it does.
You said you think the murders were sexual in nature, but if so, what would that have to do with Keegan Klein and Richard Allen and together though?
I don't know. That's the thing, is I don't know anything that nobody else knows. So we just don't know anything. You know what I mean? We don't know. Hey, Dan, turn your phone sideways, dude. There you go. We really don't know, bro. We don't know. I wish we knew.
If it was sexual in nature, then Richard Allen would have his own motive to kill the girls, not somebody else's motive.
Well, you're right about that. It would have been his own, but he could have been in on it with someone else, for example, like trying to catfish people to get them out there because they were kind of a group of people that were looking into the same thing. Oh, cut out
I
again.
think CJ hit on that. It seems like since all that happened that Keegan Klein probably had nothing to do with it, and the guy was kind of being braggy and somehow had some connection to them, because it doesn't even seem like the prosecution's going anywhere with that. And he
Yeah.
pissed them off enough. He pissed the state of Indiana off enough that they just locked him up for the rest of his life because he was going out and lying about crap.
Exactly. There's
Well, and
Casey.
then you have to consider, because the defense came out and said these odinists did it. Now they have to go and prove that they didn't do it. They're going to have to put that in their prosecution part.
Well, I think
showing
that's a
that these
wonderful
people
strategy,
didn't do
right?
it.
Or third-party guilt. So if they didn't that's one of the things I've talked about with people is if they didn't investigate it well enough, well, the jury's not going to be able to go, well, that's not possible. They better have like ironclad investigating substance clearing them.
You have a point, Anthony, and I just thought something else. Maybe Richard Allen wanted Libby dead, but not Keegan Klein. But and he somehow got Keegan Klein to tell him where Libby would be that day.
He might have. That's a big possibility. That's probably one of the things that we've thought of for the longest time is that Keegan Klein and Richard Allen are maybe somehow connected with this social media catfishing profile thing. And that's what, I mean, because Keegan Klein they did take him out of jail to go search the river. Then shortly after that, Richard Allen was arrested. It may not be connected. Keegan Klein also got charges dismissed too. So
he might
let's talk to our new guest real quick and find out who they are. Down Under with Love and Cubic Z. We have both of you here. Tell us who you guys are. Either one of you want to go first, don't matter.
Tell me if you can't understand me.
I can understand you, of course.
I'm married a Las Vegan, so I can put on an American accent if required.
I love it.
We're fine.
How about all
Chris,
the rest?
Hold on, Chris. Hold on, Chris.
Chris,
Hold on, Chris. We're going to talk to
let
them
somebody
for a
else
minute, okay?
talk, please.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Down Under with Love.
I am in a place where I am just waiting for the evidence. I can't decide one way or the other. I've gone through everything that I can think of, and I can't come to any kind of conclusion, and it's driving me insane.
Why can't you come
I
to
agree.
a conclusion? Do you look at that man? How long have you been following this case?
Oh, from the word go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you look at that guy on the bridge, do you don't see Richard Allen or no?
Oh,
I can see how people could see Richard Allen. It could be Richard Allen, but I'm not 100% convinced.
I was gonna say off the record, I'd send you a picture, but my stepdad is a dead ringer for Bridge Guy. He literally looks just like Bridge Guy. But that's one of the things I've talked about too. Is everybody over 40 in Indiana kind of looks like that. That's one bad thing about the video is it's kind of ambiguous.
It really is.
It's hard, dude. I've looked at that, and that's the thing is I knew being a local, right, living there and seeing, I knew that I would see this guy or had seen him on a regular basis and just wouldn't realize it. And looking at that, I thought, man, if I ever see the guy wearing the exact outfit, I'll probably recognize who he is. But I never saw. I saw other people wearing that same outfit, but not him, right? But I saw him not wearing that outfit, and I didn't put two and two together. So it's hard to tell. You know, a person, even if you look at them in one outfit, it's still hard to tell if you've only seen them once what they look like in another.
And I think a lot of people think that's going to be used in trial, and I don't think so because it's blown up, overexposed, and the colors have been enhanced. I don't even think that's going to show up in the trial. I think they use that for tips.
I think it's going to show up in the trial because it shows the abduction part. It shows him walking up, holding a gun, telling him go down the hill. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they're going to use the actual video and the actual audio because I think both are enhanced.
I wondered that too.
Speaking of that, the PCA states that Richard Allen is behind Abby on the bridge in Libby's video, but I've seen that video. No Abby, just Richard Allen.
No, that's because you're actually looking at. Okay, so if you look at my reenactment video that I did, Chris, where I've got a reenactment where I've got the two girls and the fake suspect there. So what I did was I stood the suspect, my actor, where the suspect was on the bridge, and I had the other two girls actually stand where they were. And so Libby was standing off the end of the bridge, and Abby was actually walking off of the bridge. So the actual video shows all that. It's Libby holding the phone. It's got Abby in the video and the bridge guy behind her. But what they've done is they've cropped that and zoomed all the way into him. And that's why it's so pixelated, because he's actually really far away in the picture. He's just a little tiny guy in the picture. And when you blow a picture up like that, it becomes distorted.
All right, let's get Cubic Z in on this discussion.
Hey,
What's up, girl? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. Tell us about yourself.
I live in Vegas. I'm a retired court clerk. I've been in well over 1,000 trials myself. And Richard Allen is 1,000% guilty.
I think so too. What makes you say that?
There's all the evidence, and the way the defense is fighting so dirty.
And they are fighting dirty.
They are. They're throwing whatever they can get to stick to the wall. They're trying to, because they don't have anything.
So you've seen trials a lot. Is this common for defense attorneys to do? In cases?
It is. That's their job. They are doing their job. I agree with like Ruckus when he says that they are doing their job, but they do it so poorly. Like everything they write, the grammar is terrible. The spelling is terrible. I would often have what we call jailhouse lawyers that would write to us. And so people in prison that would write in for other defendants or people waiting trial or whatever. And they could write motions a million times better than these attorneys.
I'm thinking law students could write motions better than these attorneys.
I can write some pretty damn good motions. I think I've shown that.
They should be embarrassed.
They are doing their job. I agree. People are like, I'm so pro-state and stuff. Look, I'm not just pro-state. I really think that those guys are corrupt. And I say that all the time. I think that some of those cops and some of those law enforcement people are very corrupt. I don't doubt it one bit. I don't refute that at all. But in this certain circumstance, if they wanted to frame somebody, they could have framed me. They could have framed somebody, Ron Logan, Daniel Nations, Keegan Klein would have been a really good suspect. I think we all would have bought it if they said Keegan Klein murdered those girls, right? Yeah. Am I wrong? We would have went with that. We would have looked no further.
No, I think because he didn't look like the bridge guy at all. He was way too big.
He was big.
I think he couldn't have gotten away with getting framed because he's like 3 times the size of the bridge guy.
If you have any common sense at all, their theory doesn't work.
No, I don't think their theory works at all. Just the simple fact of what they claim it is. But explain what you mean by that.
Just the whole odinist thing, and it just, like you said, there's so many people they could have blamed that would make so much more sense than this crap. It's just terrible. They should be embarrassed, really. It's terrible.
Well, see, then you have people on the other side that say the exact same thing about the prosecution. That's why, I guess, as somebody in the middle of it, I don't know where to go until if what you're saying is not true, what's everybody's reaction going to be when they go out there and they don't have a case as the prosecution? Like, has anybody in here considered that? The opening arguments, they go, all we have is what we have.
I guarantee you they have a case. The difference is the prosecution doesn't need to put it out there like the defense does. They keep it close to the vest. So they have a case, or he wouldn't be in jail or prison or whatever you want to call it. They have a case.
He would have never been arrested.
Right. They have a solid case. They just don't have, they don't just put it out there. They keep it for the trial.
Exactly. And we've only heard the one side this entire time. Jessica, welcome. You have to, if you've never used, there you go.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I'm Jay's researcher. I'm not great at technology. I'm just nosy as fuck.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm just going to be real with you right now. But I want to talk about, I know I'm not important or whatever, but the only thing I know about this case really is the original investigation. Why did they miss the bodies the first 2 times? Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I couldn't tell you why we wouldn't have. Nobody out there. I mean, I probably could have found him if I was walking around in that woods that night. I mean, I just don't see how they could have missed that. I would have walked along the creek bank. It would have been easy to find him.
I've
That's
seen videos
my
where
opinion.
people say you could see them from the bridge.
You would have been able to,
Yeah.
but it was also nighttime too, and it is kind of treacherous. So I could see how people wouldn't have went down in that area. People say
Yeah.
they did, but
Some
I could
people
also see in the
claim
middle of the night. You
searched
don't.
it, but what if they weren't moved that night? There were people out there all night, correct?
Yes.
I
So
think
it
the
was they
police
just
and some
missed
of the
it the first time.
Yes. And if you go look at the memorial walk video that we did,
Mm-hmm.
we take you to that area.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, in the dark with the terrain as treacherous as it was and where they were put, I'm not surprised that they missed them the first time.
Yeah, I'm from Florida, so I'm not familiar with what Delphi's woods and what that looked like. The documentary, and it looked like so much leaves and trees, like anyone could hide there if they had the right clothes on.
Just go back
And it
to
was-
the
I
initial
mean-
video. All the leaves were gone at the time, other than maybe
Right.
on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, lots of leaves. There
And
was
you got to
no leaves.
remember, they're looking for girls that were alive,
Yes, not
that
bodies.
were hurt, not bodies. They
They
weren't
thought they were
looking,
just playing and having fun in the woods. Yeah.
or they
Man,
were injured or whatever,
lost.
and so they're not looking for that.
That makes more
And-
sense to me. Thank you
and
for clearing
I
that
want you-
up.
Also, think about this. They were literally just right there. It was a football field away. I could have been there in literally, I could have been to them from the head of the bridge if I ran in less than a minute. I could be there. You know what I mean? Like I could run that fast and be right where they're at. So
They
that
were really
being said,
close.
if they were that close, when they're out there and
There
they're
was with their
screaming,
dogs
Libby,
brought out.
Abby,
Any
and they're
dogs?
they were screaming for him. You would think that they would respond if they were in that area. So that would
Right.
immediately make people think they're not
They
answering.
weren't there.
They're not here. Okay. They weren't thinking, oh, they just got their throats cut. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
they never expected. They thought they got taken to another location, probably.
when I,
Because who would do that there? It's so many people coming.
yeah, it was scary. When I first heard all this, I was scared. It was a scary day in town. It was a scary whole month, a few months in town. Like,
You know,
it was really
I'm
odd.
from Jacksonville, Florida, so I'm a Haley Cummings girl. Summer, I went to that same elementary school. Summer, rode my bike home so many times. They went in groups. So when these cases happen in your own town, it really changes the way you look at it, doesn't it?
It makes you,
Because it could be your
it's the real
child,
reason.
your
It's
cousin,
why
your
I'm doing
friend.
this. It's why I'm doing this today, because
It's so
it happened in my.
personal.
It is personal. It is personal,
Yeah.
and people wonder why I get so upset with other people and other creators in this when they say things that support the killer.
Yes.
It feels personal to me because I feel like I'm defending my community.
Your people.
Yeah.
Your people, exactly. And when you think about it, in this day and age with the transparency and how they catch prosecutors doing all kind of BS, they don't charge people with these kind of crimes unless they believe in their hearts that they can prove it to a jury of their peers. So I think the fact that he was charged years later, that means they really, really, really looked into this.
Yeah, they had
really
to.
have investigated because he doesn't have child porn in his past, none of that. The pedophiles were ruled out. This was apparently the first time he got caught. So they looked at this guy and they didn't want to look at him. They didn't want to think he was the one. They wanted it to be an easy solve, but it wasn't. It was a random, his first offense or first time he's been caught, something crazy. Divine intervention, like the Maddie with the flat tire, I don't know what. But these two little girls, their parents.
It's
the
horrible. And a lot of
Imagine.
people defend that, and are like, well, he's never committed a crime before. He's a good guy. Well, you know
Neither
what?
did
So was
Steven Stearns.
they with Steven Stearns, Ted Bundy, BTK was a church
So
guy,
many-
Thomas
oh my God,
Bruce.
John Orr, the serial arsonist. He was
Also-
an arson investigator. Hello.
Guess who else wasn't a criminal or a bad dude before he got arrested? Keegan Klein had no criminal record. Had no
My
criminal
dear
record.
God.
But he was
I
a
saw
great
Keegan
man.
Klein had already had charges filed before that.
I mean, I don't
Yes,
understand this whole trailer
but
park
at the
thing.
time that
This
he was
odinist
arrested,
This
for the time that they
odinist
searched.
thing is insane to me. Hey, Jay! I see Jay. I'm so excited.
Oh,
Can I say something about the judges?
Yes, please.
A judge is nothing more than a referee between the teams. A referee that's calling plays.
Bless you.
I gotta add another one.
It isn't
Anthony,
personal.
can you add another box?
Yep, I gotta add a couple of them.
Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay. I was saying a judge is nothing more than a referee calling plays. So for either side to take anything she does personally is absurd. She's just a referee. She's not on anybody's side. She's just there to ref between the prosecution and the defense to the jury. That's all she's there to do.
You're right, and people are saying that she's favoring the prosecution, but in my experience, that always happens. The judge always seems to
Right.
rule with the prosecution.
She
Every
has
time I'm a
avoided by the
defendant, everything
state.
I ask for, they deny
I can
it.
leave. Hey, I can leave
That's
to get my
all
box out of the way. I
cases.
just was here what
No,
Jay was
we're okay. We got it.
You guys are good. No, you guys are good. I just have to readjust the screen.
Uh,
Blake, what's up?
Nothing. What's up?
No, not a whole lot. Where are you calling from? What's going on?
Fort Wayne. I'm actually at home today.
Awesome. So what's your thoughts on this case? How long have you been following this?
The Delphi case. Recently, one of my buddies, actually, he's in here, Dan. He got me in here following it, and
Dan the man.
yeah, I've been listening to it a little bit here and there, and just a lot of it's kind of fishy. But I know how the Indiana court system is, so
It's bad, isn't it?
it's horrible, dude.
Have you been through it?
Yeah, currently.
Okay, I have too. Currently.
Hugs.
Now,
I
to
know.
clarify, Blake's been through family court stuff.
Yeah,
not
family
through,
court.
criminal court.
Oh.
Yeah.
Either way, it's all very
Yeah.
similar. It's not a good time for anybody.
No,
At
definitely
all.
not.
That's cool, man. So you guys got wrapped up in. How did you guys get wrapped up into all this?
Well, actually, I mean, you got me started on it, but there was a lady we worked with named Michelle. She knew you from, I think, one of your first charity walks or whatever.
Yeah, I know
before all the
Michelle.
Stuff happened. Yep,
You
Michelle.
came with her mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a sweetie. I sent her a text earlier and told her to check it out. We'd be on here. But
Okay.
she actually got us rolling big time because we all were talking about it in the office where we worked. And the first thing I thought when he got arrested was, isn't there an election coming up? Because I'd read that in the paper.
Ooh,
And I was like, and now that, you know, at the time, that was just the initial impression I had. And I was like, that's weird. And I know people don't like that, but being Carroll County and everything I'd heard from Greeno, I was like, that's kind of weird. And then all the stuff that's gone on since.
People like a hero.
Yeah, they do.
You know what's interesting, Greeno, is that they're singling out this case when they say the judge is on Richard Allen's side, when they say how he's being treated, and well, those are two key pieces that they're saying. But that's how everybody's treated, and you're right. Judges typically do side with the prosecution, except Parkland, right? The Parkland shooter, she got in trouble for that one, giving
Don't
them
they
a
all
hug.
have lunch together, you know, Jay?
Don't they like them? I thought they liked the defendants. But no, it's typical. Greeno's right.
The only thing that I don't like is the fact that this judge has listened to the BS, but when it comes to listening to motions or hearings, she hasn't really done that. Normally, within a trial, all this stuff is sorted out beforehand, like the Frank's motion.
She's
and
not
all
the
these
best
other-
judge.
I think what
and
she's
she's not
done is
doing any of that.
She's not the
she's-
best judge. I agree.
Yeah, she's lending credence to the conspiracy stuff by just
She
going,
is.
smacking
She
the gavel
definitely-
down, not reading motions, and just that, you know, she
That's
seems
really
pissy.
weird.
Yeah,
I
100%.
mean,
That's
I
so
would-
weird. Is she normally
rightfully-
like that?
Rightfully so, though. I think. I mean, they're sitting around saying she's corrupt and coerced.
Yeah,
and
True.
kicked him off the case,
So
knowing
that's
that
her
what they said was a
reputation
lie.
as a whole? Is that her reputation
But-
in Indiana?
Yes,
No.
yes, Jessica,
Uh,
it is.
Oh,
I was gonna
Mark,
say-
tell me more, Mark. Tell me more.
Mark.
Gamby's on. She's a contributor on
So
here
what do you-
sometimes. She has a bunch of cases that she's talked about with Gall getting people off in the same position that Richard Allen would be in, and I've heard a ton of bad stuff out here in Allen County about her. I don't personally know. I'm in Allen County right now. I just want to say thanks, Judge Gall. don't come after
If you
me.
ever get hemmed up in Allen County, you're hit. I was gonna say.
I'll be your witness.
Labrato speaks very highly of her.
What do you
Vibrato
got?
speaks
What do you? What do
No,
you
here's the thing,
guys?
everybody. She just got appointed the chief judge of Allen County, so
So,
she's now the head honcho. So that's got to. She can't be looked at too bad by
Yeah.
I
colleagues.
think that was a rotating
You
role.
have to have a good reputation to be the chief judge, right?
It's never a good
Is it?
idea for your judge not to like you. I mean, really, you shouldn't be saying things like that in the middle of a trial. I mean, you saw the Murdoch trial where they asked to kick him off, and then he excused himself. My dog.
Yeah.
He excused himself because he's graceful like that, right? He shows some grace, but you shouldn't do that to the judge in general.
I think, unfortunately, no matter how this case goes, if it goes guilty, there's likely going to be another trial just because of all the crap that's going on with that and the record of the Supreme
Guaranteed,
Court.
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And if he is guilty, it sucks because he might end up walking because of it. And that's one of the things a lot of us locals have been like, all the way around, everybody's made it look like crap. So it makes
Yeah.
Indiana look bad.
Well,
It does.
the jurors
we
aren't
live
supposed
there-
to know. The jurors aren't supposed to know any of that. So let's pretend like they don't know any
Most
of that.
people here in Allen County don't know much about the Delphi case other than the guy was arrested.
Really? You don't know much? You guys
That
don't hear
was
about
me.
that, Blake?
I didn't know shit. I
No,
didn't
we
know.
do.
what
Well, I
was
was
that?
saying we do.
Hang on,
but
guys.
most
We're
people don't
talking
know.
over each other. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Um,
leave. I'm gonna leave and let y'all do
No.
your thing. I was just hearing about Jay was gone.
Hey, Jess,
All right,
thank you
thanks,
for
Chris.
coming.
I love Jay. I love Jay. Love
I love you too.
Have a good one.
I
said you guys really heard nothing about this, Blake? Like you
Uh,
guys
I knew about the case because I lived in Wabash when it actually happened. I don't think I was there when they actually arrested someone, but I know, like I said, they didn't have much to go off of, and at that point, they were just kind of throwing crumbs out and trying to bait someone in.
Yeah.
No, it's not covered very much over here in
No,
Allen County. If you talk to people, they just know somebody got arrested. And that's one of the things I've talked about with CJ too, is people think that the YouTube things affect, and that the prosecution's alluded to it, but you could go around Allen County and ask people that are in the jury pool, and they'll go, "Didn't somebody get arrested for that?"
Someone's dog went crazy.
Not
Elandra,
mine,
thank
not
you
this
so much
time.
for the super sticker.
Yes. I think that's Greeno's channel. He can use that. We want to
is
see
it my
his
channel?
documentary.
No,
I don't
think
know.
that's Beyond the Evidence channel.
Oh, well,
That's
there you
Marv's
go.
channel.
Marv channel. There you go, Marv. Come on, everybody. Let's throw super stickers down now. Let's get some super stickers for Greeno.
Not me, anybody. It don't matter whatever channel you're on. I think we're on 3 of them, right? Yeah.
Right.
Throw it on,
Yeah.
don't matter.
There you
So
go.
okay.
I mean, it helps. It helps all of us. So
Let's go over this. Let's go over this in order, and we'll try to keep our answers short for each other. That way, we can all get some comment in on each thing. So we're talking a lot about trial and Richard Allen, but we still have the judge to rule on this contempt hearing, which is going to do, I think, the 1st, right, or the 7th. It's within the next 2 weeks. The judge has to rule on it. Now she can fine him. She can kick him off the case. She could do, I don't know what else she could do. Put him in jail. She could. What do you guys think is going to happen? And if you think that she's going to kick him off, what are the repercussions for that going to trial? Okay, let's go ahead and start with Marv. Yeah, I like it, Dan. Go ahead, Marv. You start and we'll go down and then down.
they're not going to get kicked off trial because of the Supreme Court decision. That's my thing. I think if anything, she's going to fine him.
That's it? You think she's going to fine him? Okay, guilty of crime. We're hitting the button at the same time. You seen it? Go ahead, Jay. You're muted.
I was because my dog's okay.
Oh.
So I absolutely think they should fine them, and I hope they do, but they won't kick them off because they want the trial to move forward. And we're just wasting a ton of money here. I think Gull and the prosecution want to get this thing going. But if they were to, I'm answering your question, they would hinder the trial, and we'd have a lot more time to put into it and a whole bunch of resources. So should they get kicked off and fined, get them out of there, I say, but they're not going to. Fine them, though.
Down under.
I think, like everybody else, she won't kick them off, not because she doesn't want to, though. I think if she had a choice, that's exactly what she'd do. But I think a lot of it's in how she will be seen as well, and the Supreme Court's judgment. So I don't even know that she'll fine them.
Right. Maybe kind of go on the record or whatever.
Just a smack on the wrist would be my best.
Exactly. What about you, Dan?
I hope she admonishes both sides, because I think both sides have gotten caught. I mean, like seeing the prosecution outright call them a liar, that's an ethics violation as an attorney. I think CJ's had Michael Osbrook on there, and we've all talked about that. You're not supposed to do that, even if you don't like the other side. And they're both constantly doing this, and a normal judge would be screaming at both parties in that instance. So I'm hoping she just publicly admonishes both sides. But I can't. And they preempted the fine thing, because a lot of what they're doing, they're paying out of pocket right now. So they put a sob story out, so it'll look even worse if the judge takes money from people that haven't even been paid yet. I think that was just a little strategy to that.
So what happened to all the money that the defense was given at the beginning? That all of a sudden now they need to hire all these.
They used it,
Go
dude.
ahead.
They used it.
Right.
They use it however they want too. It's interesting because they could just throw a big fat bill for a whole bunch an hour, and anybody watching the Daybell trial where he gave him $500,000 house and he said he ran out of money. I mean, that guy's
people
low
should
grade
remember
attorney.
In this case, both of those attorneys aren't public defenders; they're appointed, and these guys, whether you like them or not, they've basically shut their practices down for this. So they're still doing payroll for all their employees, the paralegals, the investigators, all that stuff. And like them or not, a lot of the experts and whatnot, at least from the court filings, they've been paying out of pocket and getting reimbursed. So it's not like they were given $1 million. Brad Rosie's owed like $55,000, and he hasn't even been paid yet. And I don't know if it's because they're screwing up on the filing the paperwork or anything like that, and that was CJ and I were doing the thing for the charity. A lot of people were mad about that, but we want to see this thing go to court and want to see them, both sides, give the best case to see who's guilty.
Yeah. Okay, Blake, how about your turn?
I don't really know a whole lot about the contempt, but being the history of the judge, I believe she's trying to keep everything low profile, hence why she don't want cameras in the court. She's probably going to do everything in her best interest to keep it minuscule. So again, the slap on the wrist is probably the best case. All
right. What about Cubic Z?
She won't kick them off. It's going to be a fine and or jail. I've seen defense attorneys jailed before on contempt. It wouldn't surprise me.
So what would that happen if they go to jail right then? That would obviously delay his shit.
Well,
right?
When is the contempt hearing?
The
contempt
hearings happened already. Yeah, it's due like in a couple weeks or something for ruling.
She could suspend the jail time until after the trial's over.
Okay. God, that would suck. Can you imagine that after we get this guy? We're going to have to turn ourselves in.
And they've been given money for experts before.
100 hours of community service. Get stuff like that, too.
They don't. Yeah. They actually, I think they really do want to be the Jose Baez and the Johnny Cochran. After this, they're going to be these people that tried the Delphi case. And, it's free advertisement. People are going to want to come to them now. Somebody was on Greeno's show that said they went to him for a DUI hearing, and they paid, or a DUI case. They paid a ton of money to them, and they never even actually saw the attorneys. So those guys are in it for the fame as well, I believe.
Exactly. How about Chris? What do you think? What do you think Judge is going to do about the contempt?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know much about the judge. I don't even care so much about the judge. So I don't know.
You don't know?
She can do whatever she wants, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not even so interested in the judge. I am more interested in like the case and stuff.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm more interested in seeing what happens to Richard Allen, but I think that all this other stuff could influence those things.
Okay, good.
What about
Chris,
you, Mark? What?
I was just going to say, Chris, I know that you're interested in the case, but there's all kind of aspects that we need to talk about tonight. So, go ahead.
What's up, Mark? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Mark, can you hear us?
Where's Mark?
Can you
Oh,
hear us?
back.
I bet if when he sees himself on the big screen, he's gonna be like, "Oh no, dude,
I
Justin
wasn't
for
ready.
Tabitha.
can't hear you, brother. If you can hear us, we can't hear you.
Mark.
You have to figure out your audio." Mark Tate, everybody. All right, Marv, you got a question? Does anybody in the chat have questions? By the way, I want to say thanks for all those freaking super chats that popped up after that was said. That was freaking awesome. Carrie, Alonda, Misty, Monica, everybody that made super chats to whoever's channel or whatever channel it is. Thank you.
If I could say something real quick.
No, Mark, we can't hear you.
Well, while we're figuring him out. So Jess says, what we don't know the state's argument. There's not a lot of evidence, everybody. I looked it up so that I can just see what's out there if you're a person that doesn't know about the case. And so the evidence that they have that we know isn't a lot. They say it's the alleged confession that he gave during the calls. And they say it's a significant part of the case. Other thing is the unfired bullet is one key piece of evidence linking Allen, and then they say evidence from Allen's home, which includes a handgun, but there may be other stuff at his house that they're alleging that they found. So we don't know what other evidence they have in the house. So I just wanted to say that to people that don't know about the case or what the state has. They're not showing their cards. But Greener knows this case best, so
What do you all you guys think of the David Erskine text? I mean, I'm not sure what to believe about that, but I am pretty sure I don't believe the part about where he says Abby survived until the next day. Not sure if I believe that part.
Who said that?
David Erskine.
Okay. What do you think, Greeno? Greeno knows. Greeno's like the magic. He's like the crystal ball.
What do you guys think of the David Erskine text?
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go through there. All right, so you know what? I'll let Cubic Z start, and then we'll work our way back up, and we'll go back this way. Cubic Z, go ahead. What do you think of the Erskine text?
So I'm not well enough versed in that to answer that.
No? Okay.
No.
Actually, you know what? I could probably pull it up here in just a second. Marv, do you know about the Erskine text? You know about them, right?
Yeah, that's the one where supposedly Abby's uncle put in there that
a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
The girls were laying next to each other, or yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can find a clip of that in the documentary.
I think he was trying to be helpful in the beginning, and it totally backfired on him. I really do. Because we know that, there was rumors that Abby was sitting up against the tree. Well, we know that's not true. They were both laying down. We know we heard that she was posed like a doll. We don't know that.
Right. Yeah, we did hear that.
Libby was almost decapitated. Well, yeah. Yes.
Well, that was the thing I was going to ask, Greeno. I saw you had seen the crime scene photos, correct? Yep. I think I've heard you say that. That was I don't ever want to see them, for the record. But that was the thing. I wanted to know how precise the wounds were. And the sticks. I think you talked about the ones on his head. That was the most bizarre thing. And I think that Todd Click in that hearing that he had, I don't know if people like him or not, but he was talking about from what he saw, they were for sure there. But you said the other day that you don't think they were. Why would a guy know that? Why would a guy know anything about that crime scene? That was the weird thing.
Why would that guy?
Him specifically.
Who Click?
Yeah. No, Elvis Fields.
Oh, Elvis. Okay.
That was weird that he had any knowledge of that at all.
I know.
None of us knew about it.
You're right. I know. And the only thing I can think, man, is because there is a twig, right, that comes from this side around. It comes around the side, but it's not stuck in her hair like this, right?
Yeah,
like people are thinking. It's just a twig that comes from the bottom of her hair or her head's laying on the ground and twists around.
Yeah.
But it's real thin. It's just like anything you'd see in the woods. But what was your question? I'm sorry, I lost it.
Oh no, I was just asking why would a guy like him know anything about it? And then to tie into that, if
Someone
you
told
listen
him?
to Sleuth Investigate exactly, and you listen to Sleuth Investigates thing with Patrick Westfall, there's a part in it where the guy says, and everybody thinks, pardon my French, folks, everybody thinks that we just use retards as surrogates for our, doing our bidding. And that to me was really, really bizarre in that whole thing because he said that specifically. And I guess Elvis Fields is very low on the IQ scale.
That's what they said. Okay, so that's a good thing. The thing is let's say that those are runes and it is Odinism at that crime scene. Let's pretend like it really is. Okay, it may be. We'll say, and let's say since Richard Allen's arrested, that he's the one that did that. So if Richard Allen did that and he told someone he did that, like these other Odinist guys, and he's become a part of their Odinism thing, right? Because Elvis also said that he had a new brother now, a new member of a gang. You know what I mean? So maybe Richard Allen did this as part of the initiation to become an Odinist. And the Odinist
Richard Allen alleged to be part of the acid crew, or
he's not?
And that's the weird thing too, because they brought up Johnny Messer, and I have no idea if any of it's true. And from reading Turco's statements through the defense, it seems like it would be somebody who's interested in that stuff. They allude to it being a sacrifice, but I think just looking at it, you're like, somebody could have made it look like that to throw people off. Generally, I have no idea, but it was weird just hearing him say that. I've never heard anybody else involved in this that knew anything about the crime scene other than law enforcement and people who were there.
That one specific thing. You're right. And that is weird. But so he says this, but if he wasn't there, then someone told him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I agree with that too. But that's what I mean. Who?
That's why the state.
Is there any information that Richard Allen's connected to any of these? Because the defense has said that there's no electronic communications associated with him. Yes, we don't have the prosecution side, but they have 30-some phones or whatever. That's the as a fence sitter, I hear that. I'm like, well, what? It seems like that could be a good route to go down for defense. And what else did he say? He told his sister, I'm in a lot of trouble. I was on a bridge with these guys, with two guys, and these girls got killed.
Yeah, yeah, and put horns in her hair or something like that. Yeah, he said a bunch of weird stuff, which I tell everybody that all the time. I'm like, okay, I don't know why he said that or how or what. I had a guy tell me about the
and then I spit on it. And then I spit on her. That was the most bizarre. He told a highway patrol or a state police officer, if I can explain it, I won't get any trouble, right? Because, I may have spit on them.
Yeah.
That's like...
Well, that's a little fishy right there.
Yeah, but he didn't. Or that we know of, because his DNA wasn't found there.
Well, and that's the thing with the DNA. They tested. Patrick Westfall said he had a 4-hour interview, lie detector. So you automatically assume wasn't there.
Right.
And they tested his DNA, and he said on there, I don't know why they're even going after Richard Allen, because they DNA tested me. You figure if they would have hit him, they wouldn't be DNA testing me, because that was last year after he was already arrested.
That's why I'm thinking, man. There's something else that's weird. That's weird with this. There's
Unless there is
something
multiple
else.
people involved.
That's what
Well,
they're
it sure
claiming.
is.
That's
What
what
did they
they're
say at the press conference, right? Don't celebrate yet. That's where I get on the. I don't know how anybody convicts him or says he's innocent because we have nothing.
That's because
Maybe if somebody actually has law enforcement on the phone.
The state doesn't want to say anything, so you don't get more wackos coming in and saying, I was there, I did this, I was involved. If you give them too much evidence, they're going to come in and say that. I mean, this is a pretty...
That was 2018, though, right? With Elvis Fields. That was before any information was out. We barely had any of the sketches when
we
Elvis
don't know,
Fields was
though.
interviewed.
We don't know what was behind the scenes either.
Yeah, well, I mean, as the public. So they had kept it quiet. We had the original... I don't know if we had the video yet when he was interviewed. It was just a picture and down the hill. So there was nothing else. And no one that I ever talked to or listened to had mentioned anything about sticks. I think there was ramblings about that F, but it was supposedly carved into a tree, not blood.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it was an F because I thought that Kat and I had talked about that back in the day, dude. Remember where we were like, I thought it was a K. Right. So, but that wasn't far off. Someone had said something. That's those things that we're talking about. I'm glad you brought that up, Dan, because those are the things that I'm talking about. People is how do people know things about the crime scene? Well, there wasn't that I know of anything carved into a tree, but there was an F written in blood. That so kind of an F, I guess we could say it is. It might not be, but that was said early on that there was something carved into a tree and that the girls were stabbed and all this stuff. So we could kind of take bits and pieces of those conversations or those statements and say how much of it is really true, or is it just crazily embellished? You know, like I was just thinking about that the other day where they said Abby was sitting up like a doll. That wasn't true. They were tied up together. That wasn't true. One was nude. That was true. The covered with twig or sticks and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true.
Well, and they're arranged in a weird. Even the FBI hit on that. I can't wait to see the public information on what the behavioral analysis unit says because we've never seen the actual full profile or information that they discussed about it.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
would really
the
like
fence sitting, guys. I wish people wouldn't fight because it's fun to even speculate or talk about because none of us. I mean, unless I don't know, people have sources and whatnot, but until we see it go to the public, I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know what's going to happen with this case, especially if I think that, you know what, she could kick them off and just be like, all right, new defense team, come up with a different strategy. You know what I mean?
No, I think what's going to happen is that she's going to fine him. If he's found guilty, we're going to an automatic appeal.
Right.
And we're going to have a second trial. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think you're right, Marv.
And there may be
that sucks. And that's the thing with even if, when we talked about it earlier, if they come out in the opening arguments and they're like, we have his thumbprint on the gun, touch DNA, we haven't released it to the public, here's our expert, because the defense even said they needed a DNA and blood spatter expert. They come out and say all that and prove it, it's going to get a retrial automatically anyways.
Yeah.
And these motions in limine that the judge aren't holding, it seems like that's going to be a bummer or an appeal issue in and of itself.
I know. I really see like this case just becoming a mistrial and starting over. I really do. Because it doesn't seem...
Her actions or lack thereof, and I'm talking about Judge Gull, is what's going to put this case under. And
she's done a lot of things.
And we're going to get an automatic appeal, in my opinion.
Well, they always appeal.
Especially on that.
But it's going to get granted.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
People have a lot of issues with things that she's done, but just because the defense has had a lot of motions denied and people don't agree with her rulings doesn't mean they have solid appellate issues.
Right.
Well, don't forget QB's. Is it QB's?
Cubic Z.
Cubic Z. The first writ of mandamus that was on there is because the judge was taking things off the record that weren't that were supposed to be permanently on the record. So there's
Yeah.
tons of issues. And if
Yeah.
the judge hadn't remedied that right after the start and made that moot, that's another area of appeal. She doesn't look at the information, and she's been taking it off the record. And not just, suppressing it, she's been deleting it from the record.
If she had done anything that serious, something would have happened when they took it up.
Well,
No,
the
she
strike,
did.
the strike.
You can
when she struck the record.
go through it. You will find out she did. And that was right
Whoa.
before the defense attorneys got taken off there. Look into that, Cubic C, because
But
she
it doesn't.
did delete things from the
It
record.
still doesn't mean it's a solid appellate issue.
Right. Absolutely. They could.
Well, she did strike it. She did strike him. I understand why she struck him. So she struck their motion, I think, because they went into that hearing and says, we're going to withdraw. And then in that time frame, she said they, unexpected circumstance, they withdrew or whatever. We didn't hear what they said till later on. But then they filed a motion after that, and she said, well, you already said you're out of here, so that's technically stricken from the record. I could see that. I could see her side on that, but I also see their side too, because technically Rosie didn't withdraw. He said he would, but he didn't technically do it. He filed that other motion claiming coercion.
And like the letters that people are writing now, everything's supposed to be maintained on the record. And that's just
where'd it go?
one thing.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Let me say one thing. As a court clerk, she cannot read anything that the public sends in because it's ex parte communications.
Oh, agreed.
So as her
Agreed.
staff, with my judge that I worked for 20 of the 25 years, any communication I would handle it. He never saw it because he couldn't see it. So people
Right.
are writing in are just wasting. I mean, other than expressing their creative writing, they're just
Yeah.
wasting their time.
Yep,
I have
and
a
that's the
question.
thing too.
Can
You
we-
guys
can we
maintain it on the
answer?
record.
Hello,
Yes.
I have a question.
Hey, just a second. Hang on, just
Real
a second.
quick.
We need to answer the super chat donation real
Yeah,
quick
please.
from Nerdy Cat. What do you think of the audio
Definitely.
box?
That's the one. That's the question I had, Nerdy Cat.
Yeah, what do you
All
think of
right.
the audio box device taken as evidence? Do you think it's a recording device? I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Are you referring to Richard Allen?
It's in the search,
warrant?
the items
believe
that were
so.
taken at the search of Richard Allen's house.
Okay, so what is that?
That's what they're asking. What do you think an audio box device
So what do I
is?
think of it? What do I think of it? Like, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Does anybody here know what that is?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
either.
Well, it's a recording device, so it could have been him. It could have been him recording his thoughts on something. It could have been him just recording, anything. Yeah, look up audio box. It's basically just a recorder, and I mean he could have had it on in that day. I
Shane's
doubt
so
it.
smart.
I doubt that they well, if they do have evidence on it, it's great, but it could have his thoughts on there.
Well, and
That
it
could be
says
incriminating.
It says you can connect it to your car, and there's
Yeah,
one for
it
a
shows-
cell phone.
Yeah, it
and-
shows when I look it up, it looks like that thing that flips down like on your sun visor, like right in the middle of your
Yep.
car that
Yeah.
has a TV screen.
Oh my
That's what it
God.
is.
Oh,
And it also
Spicy.
shows
That could be
old-fashioned cell
spicy
phones.
stuff.
Oh.
That's interesting. I wonder why.
Very interesting.
Does that have some sort of GPS in it or something?
Yeah, does it?
And tracks where cars go?
Maybe.
It
It
may
could be.
have. It may have.
it could have
Maybe.
captured his phone calls in the car when he was driving. It could. It does have Bluetooth
This
on
could
it.
blow
So
it wide
Yes,
open,
it
Jay,
does.
right?
Yeah,
Depend
I
on
mean-
what kind of device you had.
it's part of the evidence when they say they took things from his home. They're just not telling us what, and that's why I'm expecting the prosecution to come strong. They're not just going to say he was there.
I guarantee you guys,
Yeah.
mark my words, they have him dead to rights. There's no way the defense is playing this hard and this dirty. They
This
have
is a
him.
court reporter. This is a court reporter, right?
They have him. Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, she's
I
got
guarantee you
some
they have him.
smarts.
And that's the thing to everybody. That's what gets me is the defense team is playing this case in the media. And that's why the judge, I think, doesn't want people filming in that courtroom anymore because of the issue
Yeah.
with Rick Snee and Noe, not once, but every time. Okay. The issues with the letters that are being written to the court, the threats of the judge. It's this unsafe environment to have people in there or even film it because the defense team is trying to create, I think, a narrative to get
A
these people in
story.
Allen
They're
County.
telling a story.
The
They're
crazy
trying to get
part-
the people in Allen County to hear it, I think.
That is an appellate issue in and of itself.
Yeah.
And what is it? the council's doesn't do a good job.
Ineffective assistance.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the thing you see
Retrial,
on both
retrial, like
sides.
Mark said, a retrial.
So,
Well, if there's a mistrial, at least he'll still be in jail. Hopefully, I'm sure he's not going to get a bond. So
If he does,
A lot-
it'll be too high to get.
if he's in jail, then I would feel safer for that town, because if he did do that, I mean, that's horrible for little girls to be afraid to be outside like that in the middle of the day.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no way he's going to do that again right there, because he's going to be watched.
Hey, you can't say that. Don't
Facts.
never say that. People will get out and they do the same thing again. They can't help it. They have urges.
Oh, wait a minute. That one guy killed a second girl when he was questioning
Just
killing
got
the
out.
first girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can tell you that if Richard Allen gets out, there's family members that are going to be
Gonna meet
Watch
me.
Taking care of business.
watching his every move or laying hands
Scary.
on him.
That's
one or the other.
terrifying.
Him and I are gonna go to church together.
Catch him.
Well, and that's
Don't
the
pull
thing with
don't pull a
Carroll
JLR on him.
Yeah.
What's up with Carroll County telling everybody there it's safe, knowing that that person's still out there? That was bizarre
Right.
too.
Stupid. And you know what? The sheriff
Insanity.
actually answered that in an interview.
Oh, did he?
He did answer that in an interview. It was with
I
Angela
have,
Hogue. What, Chris?
So first of all, back to my original question. What do you guys think of the Erskine text, especially you, Anthony?
Oh, I think that there's some truth to it, but it's over exaggerated, I think, at some parts.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think where he goes. I think it's a witness that
Big,
is,
right?
you keep cutting out.
Yeah.
Especially the part about Abby surviving until the next day, right?
She didn't survive till the next day,
She
though.
didn't. She
And
wasn't
I even have a copy of her tombstone that says that she died on February 13th.
He has the receipts, honey. Mr. Owens, he has the receipts.
Yeah,
she
she
didn't
died.
crawl away.
Those are all rumors,
None of
buddy.
that.
Th-
Yeah.
Those are people just making stuff up.
And another thing I wonder is if Richard Allen and Keegan Klein were in on it together, why haven't they either been ratted on the other to try to save himself? Like, why
we
hasn't
don't know
Richard
that he
Allen ratted on Keegan Klein for telling him that Libby was going to be on the trails that day?
Because we don't necessarily know that he did tell him that. We don't
That's
necessarily
all
know.
conjecture. There's no
Yeah.
proof of any of that.
We don't know that Richard Allen really isn't the person behind the profile instead,
Right.
and they just haven't told us that. There's got to be a reason. This guy didn't just show up out there and kill those two girls when he specifically had other ones to choose from prior to. He had 4 girls. One was little that he could have attacked as soon as he got there if he just wanted to kill somebody. Okay. It could have killed Betsy Blair. Okay. When she was there alone by herself, he could have pulled out a gun and got her right there before Abby and Libby came. Okay.
Pedophiles have a type. They have a type.
They have a type. And I think that he specifically went there because we know that Anthony Shantz, the profile that Keegan Klein was using or created, said, "I'm going to meet you there." And then he said after the murders to someone, "Well, I was there, but they never showed up." Okay. So
Anthony, didn't the police allege that he said that? Because if you read the transcripts, I think the murder sheet put him out.
yep.
I don't think that he necessarily had that on there, but they alleged that he said that.
They told him he said that, and he
Yeah.
reiterated that. Yeah. But he didn't deny contacting him. You
No,
know?
don't they have record of that?
They do have records of it. I mean, he
See,
didn't
hello,
deny
more
doing it.
receipts. You have all the receipts.
What? Yeah, he didn't have.
Those are available online.
Yeah, they're online. You can see it.
That's what
Get
I said, you
online,
guys.
Mr. Owens. Get online and open your
But
mind. Mr.
I don't
Owens.
think.
Hang on. Let's not talk over each other. That's why we don't
Thanks,
know
Mom.
what the prosecution has. You know,
No.
None of
we can assume or say no, they don't have anything, but we don't know.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you a question.
Know.
If you're a jury member and you're on, there's 9 of us here. Okay, 3 more and we'd make a jury. What for each one of you that we know of right now is the most compelling piece of evidence that you as a juror would be like, that right there would probably tell me the guilty part of it? Marv?
What we
Or
know
if there's
now?
nothing, you could say, yeah, or if there's nothing and you say, you know what, dude, everything I see right now, I would vote not guilty. I don't think
Right.
there is any compelling piece that's going to tie him.
Right now, would have to say he's not guilty because I have not heard the prosecutor's evidence.
Okay.
Oh, Marv just disappeared. Wonder where she went.
I
Dang,
think she was
Marv glitched out, everybody.
Well, now we have to
don't know
swear.
what they have.
Yeah.
We have no idea what they have. So, and in all reality, if you were to go in front of a judge right now on a jury, before you heard both sides' evidence, he would tell you the same thing. It happened in that trial for Turcos. He said, as of right now, you would have to vote not guilty because you have not heard all of the evidence. I'm going by that.
All
We don't know the
How I
truth.
hear
We don't know the
both
facts of the
sides.
case.
Right.
But what we do know, Greeno is asking, with what we do know, we think he's the bridge guy. Well, I do anyway. We see the bridge guy. We see that there was a bullet that was ejected that have the same markings, the ballistics, what they call it, the ballistic markings. They say they have evidence from his home. He placed himself there, and I think that's about it. So with the evidence that we have, and he confessed. Okay, there's 4 things. Out of those 4 things, would you say guilty, not guilty, or I don't know, sway me? Right? Because juries do that with each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
If
voting
it comes
guilty.
out that all of that is true,
Sorry, Greeno.
right? That he confessed to multiple people and he actually said, I killed the girls, or I was involved in the killing of the girls. Yeah, then
paint my door red and
Guilty.
call me Elizabeth Arden, you know?
then he's done.
People do think he's innocent, Camaro Lover 73.
Yeah.
Part of the panel that's here, and then Sterling, and there's whole channels that are dedicated to that.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
My
actually do
daddy
a
would
poll.
never confess to something like this. It just seems insane to confess to this. And the bullet creeps me out. Him being interviewed previously, the weaponized incompetence by the police. I mean, I don't think they would arrest this guy if they didn't think he did it.
When
mean,
did
I
he
need to see the
allegedly
rest.
confess?
They have record of it. He confessed to the wife. There's
Yeah.
Transcript.
April 3rd.
That
April
was
but
the
what
thing
about-
is what was
what about
said
the
in the
conditions?
confession.
I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't heard it yet. Let me
Hold
hear
on.
it. Let me
He
know. But
confessed-
my
he
dad would
confessed to the
never be
wife.
on a police call telling his wife of 22 years that he
confessed
had
to his wife.
anything to do with this kind of crime. That's insanity to me. My dad would tell his wife anything. My stepmom, like what they tell their wives is so important, especially if they had a real bond, a real love. Like my stepmom and my dad, they still hold hands in the car 22 years later. He calls her his bride. He would never confess or even allude to having some knowledge of a crime of this nature.
So for you, that's your that's a
If
big
if they
piece.
have that on tape, that would blow my mind. And I'll
He
paint
not
my
only
door red and
confessed
call
to his-
myself Elizabeth
Hang on
Arden.
one second. Hang
Yeah.
on
He
one
not only
second here.
confessed to his wife.
Stephanie,
Yeah,
how
because
do
like-
we hang on? How do we
Yes.
know he admitted to molesting other girls?
Thank you.
Oh my
They
God,
said that in the
Marv.
court document, Marv.
Yes.
Which
They
one?
They just said it. So clearly you don't
That's
watch
the
any of my
one-
videos, do you?
That's the one that just came
I
out,
told you,
what,
I
2
have
weeks
not
ago,
had
Anthony?
time.
That's a lot. That's
It's
a big deal. That's what I
recent.
wanted to see, a pass.
It's-
He had a
It's
pass.
it's the
Hold
most
on.
recent
It's in one of his
videos I made
confessions.
talking about Richard Allen's the latest update that they had, a new request for something. I can't remember what it was. Just this week.
Okay.
They said
Suppression
that
hearing for the
Suppression.
second
I'm behind on
interrogation.
those documents, so I'll make sure I go read them.
they did say that. Yeah, I read it in that video. It's basically they said that he had confessed to shooting them in the back and making multiple confessions to an inmate, and that was the ones that they were asking to be suppressed. But they said he admitted to molesting other girls, which he specifically named
That,
And I said,
that makes
if
me
he specifically
look-
named them, has law enforcement went and found these girls and said, did this happen to you?
Do you think
Yeah,
they're
no
going to bring
kidding.
I'm
that
sure
in?
they have.
Reno,
I'm
do
sure
you think they're
getting
gonna-
Could that
into
be
it
brought
now.
into evidence, Reno? Could it?
It could be, and he could also be charged if come down to it.
Well,
Oh,
and that's the
shit.
problem too, is if that guy just made the shit up too. Like that's one of the problems. That's where the other side of the argument would go. Like if it's total BS and the guy was psychotic, which he
Right.
supposedly was at the time, he sounds like he's, making crap up. That's the other side of the argument with that.
But if they can
Exactly.
prove that with children he's had
Yes.
contact with.
Yes, if they could prove it, he's screwed.
Well, that's a
But
whole,
if-
that's a
if
whole
the-
other
Was that
case.
Dan?
I mean,
Was that Dan's
Well,
boy?
well, it looks like this weekend after I get back from being out of town on Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to have to do another live and read these documents live.
Tag
so
me,
that
tag me.
I can get through them.
I'm in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Cubic Z has to leave. So
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Cubic Z. We appreciate all of your insight.
Thank you for having me. I hope to come
come
back.
on anytime.
Love her.
Thank you. All right.
I'm going to leave. I just wanted to say a few things because you guys are so smart. Like, I like being around smart people. It makes me a little smarter about myself.
Can I answer this question here?
Well, there's 7 brains here.
Let me answer
Amazing.
this question real quick. Camaro Lover, it's not that I think he's innocent. It's the fact that I have not heard exactly what the prosecution has for evidence.
That's
If
me
this
too.
all comes out and it's true that he says we know he says he was there, but if it's true that he's got a past and he actually admitted to the murders and doing this, then yeah, he's guilty as hell. But I've got to
Exactly.
hear that evidence.
It's reasonable doubt. You have to be proven without a reasonable doubt. And you're waiting for that because you have sense.
well,
Right.
we don't have too many days left until trial, and then hopefully in opening statements they blow us away.
But
Right.
Here's
But
a
the-
question
the-
for the
the-
panel.
the girls weren't shot in the back, though. Their necks were sliced.
Not that we, know
don't
of.
know that for
Greeno
sure,
brought
Chris.
that up
It
earlier.
could have been a combination,
know of,
Mr.
yeah.
Owens. It could have been a combination.
Someone had a question for the panel. Was that Dan?
Everything you
Yeah,
hear online
yeah.
is fact.
Hold
and
on.
that's-
Um,
Said earlier,
now I
though,
forget what it
that
is.
their
I
necks were
apologize.
sliced.
Dan.
What are you trying to show me, Mark?
You missed your turn again.
What was
No.
it? Evil people?
Can you hear me now?
You can hear you now.
Awesome.
There we
That's
go.
better.
Hey, Mark. Dan, you had a question for the panel?
I forgot what it was. Everybody got a.
If
I'll- if I
Sorry,
remember it, I'll ask.
Reno, I have one question for you.
For me, sure, go ahead.
How do I give memberships?
Send me $50 and I'll make sure memberships get moved.
No, how do I?
That's what I did today. That's what I did today. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't know how. I
Here's
don't
how
know
you
how
do it.
either, Marv.
Here's
I
how
don't
you
know
do it,
how. I
everybody.
just send Jay
Hold
money.
on.
I'm going to show you guys how to do it right now. So let me go ahead and switch myself over to my own thing. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys how to do this membership thing. If you want to give your viewers a membership, what you do is
Yes.
you go like this. Let me pull this up. So this is my screen, everybody, right here. All right. So this is my video that we're watching. Now, if I go to my own chat, okay, which is here, and I click on the money
Dollar
sign,
sign.
okay, it's going to say memberships, and I can memberships
It's
gifting.
gifting. Yeah.
I
Yep.
click on gifting.
Oh, okay. It is
And
the
I
gift.
can
Is
give
that
this
is
away.
it like that on a phone though? Is it like that on a phone?
You know what? Fuck it.
Oh, everything sucks.
Yeah, it's like that on a phone.
phones.
Teach
But-
me, Daddy. Teach me.
Yeah. And then there we
Wait
go.
a minute, Anthony.
Fuck
How
it,
do we give
indeed.
the free ones each month? Because I'm not getting that
You
option.
can only
should.
use 15 a month, Marv. If you've given them away,
But
you've
how
used
do-
too much.
How do I do it
Marv
without
is
paying for it?
generous.
You don't have to if you
You don't
have
pay
them
for 'em.
left over. Yeah, you don't. You have to probably do it online though.
See, I only had
I don't-
5 left this month, so I'm done until May. But
Reno, I have an off-topic question for you as a
Sure.
YouTube creator. What software are you guys all using to do all this video editing?
well, I think we all use something different. So I
Sure.
use
You personally, I guess.
me personally.
Hang
I
on.
use Cyberlink Power Director for my video editing, but I use Canva, to make all these graphics and special stuff in the background.
Tell me more.
It's actually about 10 different programs that I use, to be honest. About 10 of them.
Go back to
Yeah.
that screen and show me how you did that.
Yeah, me too,
Please.
honey. Me too.
You go into the chat. Go
All
ahead.
right.
You're gonna have
Go
to
like
make a
this,
short
Marv.
on that.
Go like this. Yeah, need to make a short on it. You're right. All right, so go like this, Marv. Go to today's video on YouTube. Go to
Wait,
YouTube
I'm
and
there.
type in. Okay. Now go to your chat, and then click on the money symbol, like you're going to make a donation or super chat to somebody.
Right?
And then go to membership gifting.
Okay. When I do that,
What does it tell you?
it says buy gift.
Okay,
And it's
That's
got a
so
where
month.
I get stuck there every time.
you must have used them already. So try it.
I
I
never
haven't
see the
given any
membership
out.
gifting.
Wait,
Then
Marv,
try it.
are
Buy
you
gift.
doing? Are you doing it on your phone or are you doing it on the
Yes,
computer?
ma'am, Jay. I can only work my phone. I only do PCs
All right,
if
hang
I'm
on.
paid.
Oh,
Hang on.
you guys also have to have it turned on too.
I did that part.
Well, don't you think you should have led with that?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you guys should have had it turned on, duh.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Burn.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
See?
Someone needs to
It
turn
does
that
not.
off. Who's that noise?
Not me.
I can hear myself talking
Not
when
me.
you're
Not
playing a
me.
video.
I'm on mute for once.
All right.
it
So
was-
when I go in here and I click, where did my chat go?
Right there.
Marv is my spirit person.
Marv. Marv is my spirit animal.
Where are the save my on a computer?
Now it's not coming up. Hang on.
Refresh it.
Marv is no
Nothing
longer
to
my
do.
spirit animal.
What kind of animal are you?
A marvelous animal. Oh, okay. I need to look at the comments. I'm missing
You made
them
a punny. You made a punny.
all. Look, we're looking at Marv's
Going
screen.
as a pun
All right.
adventure.
We'll figure it out later.
I've been saying that for weeks, Marv.
It's easy, Marv.
Yeah, you should have some unless you gifted them already for the month. You
Yeah.
might have
I
done it like a
haven't
month
gifted
ago.
any. That's why I was going to gift a bunch tonight.
Oh,
I'm
Well, you
Show
can
sorry.
buy
us
'em.
some money, Reno. Show us some money.
I don't have any money.
All right. Hang on.
I'm broke, man. I owe money.
Here.
Me too, honey.
All right. I'm sharing my screen again. Can you see
All right.
it?
Yep, I can see it. Can you guys
All
see
right.
it?
When I
You guys
click
can see it.
on the money
We'll have it on this.
sign and I do membership gifting, it
Okay.
just comes up as this. It
Me
does not
too.
have my
Me
free
too.
ones.
Okay.
Why doesn't it have my free ones?
Did you scroll all the way down?
Yeah,
Scrolling.
Yeah,
that's it.
that's interesting.
Do you have to have a number of members in order to get the free ones?
No, I think you're
No,
hit for
you-
this month, Marv.
You have to go in
Yeah.
like you're gonna buy one, and it's kind of like a lottery thing. I think where if you go to buy one and somebody has them gifted,
Oh,
you'll
look
just
at that.
win the.
What about
Win
the
the-
phone?
free
How
one.
does it work on a phone, Reno? Tell me how it works on a phone.
Well,
Same
you don't have.
concept, I guess.
You're not a content creator, so you don't get
I
free
just
ones.
want to
Jess.
give you money. I can't
Well,
you
could-
with membership.
No, here,
Oh,
right here.
How do you give money?
I just
Oh.
cash app her. I cash app her
Hold on.
because I can't figure it out.
The
Simple.
dollar
You
sign
just-
button.
bottom of the chat on your
It's
phone, you
asking
press
me
the
to
little
pay
money
for
symbol.
it.
Yeah, push the money symbol on the bottom where
It never
she just-
gives me a gift membership. It gives me super chats and stickers.
That's
What am
only
I
on your
doing
phone.
wrong?
Only on your phone it does, but if you go online, it will let you do
I
it.
don't,
It just
I don't do computers.
well then you got to give us money, all of it.
I'll just keep your cash
We
app.
accept
in my
cash,
memory.
American
Your
Express,
cash app is like my
PayPal.
number 2 contact.
We accept
I
it
love
all.
this so much, guys. Good night. Have a great night. I'll let all the smart people talk, but I really
Don't
do
worry.
want this.
We'll see you
Small.
in the
That was
chat.
nice.
Smart.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I drank 2
Good night,
Pepsi
Jess.
Colas. Forgive me, 2 Pepsi Colas.
I'll take the money, yes.
Love you, Jay. Love everybody. I never even knew about Guino. Like, him and Dan. I would definitely, yeah. Dan's my type. Bye. Good night.
Have a
I'll
good
message you.
I'm on
There you
CJ's
go, Dan.
almost every night. I got a woman at home, you guys. Come on now. She's gonna kill
Exploiting
me.
him.
Don't we all?
Yes. CJ, you're funny. Or Dan, you're funny. CJ cracks me up, dude. You know what? I like making videos about him because he's just
So
too funny
funny.
not to. You know what I mean? Like
I love that guy.
he said today.
I think you guys should all roll into that crap.
You know what? CJ, if you're watching, you can join this chat, dude. Just be cool. I won't go to your channel and troll. I don't go to people's channels and troll them. You know what I mean? Like, but CJ's welcome to come on here. I think that he's a character. You know what I mean? He's funny. I like to poke at him, but I like to poke at everybody. But I don't
Ray
want to poke at him. You know,
and Anthony
necessarily.
Browno. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The first day I watched CJ, he about banned me.
Did he?
Yeah, I was making comments picking on Dan. He's like, I don't know who this guy is, but
Kick him out. Yeah, CJ. He don't like me too much, I guess. I don't know. Why don't he like me, Dan?
I don't really know. I think it's the same infighting group thing. Group. I don't know. Well, I mean, I know from his experience, like Rick Snay kind of helped him out. The Unraveling helped him out when he got started, and he got attacked by other people and just crazy. Now you got that. Who's the Art of Deduction? Are you aware of that guy, Greeno?
Oh yeah. He just had
That
his
dude
channel.
is going ham on him right now, and like trying to threaten a lawsuit and all this stuff. And it's nutty. That's what I was bringing up earlier. I appreciate you having me on here. I hope that people can take away from this that even if we don't agree, we don't have to fight. We can agree to disagree.
We can. And
it's all about perspectives.
It is, and that's the whole reason I wanted to put this out there, and I tagged everybody, even the people that don't like me. Is
that why you tagged me?
Don't. Yeah, that's why I tagged everybody. You know, I tagged the Unraveling. I told them all. I even told Rick Snay, you come in here and talk about it. I don't understand. They don't come talk about it. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to come into a civil platform and speak about those. The only person I've ever heard come in and be like legitimately reasonable on the opposing side has been who's been here that's been on the opposing side that's actually been really cool.
I think
Who?
I might be on the opposing side.
Dan, okay,
but
so Dan, you might be on the opposing side a
I'm
little.
wishy-washy.
Yeah, Dan's kind of sketchy, man. He might not.
That's right. Us Jews are shifty.
It's a healthy debate.
3% of me is Jewish, dude. So 3% of me.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence with it.
Me too.
I said 3% of me is Jewish, according to my DNA. Oh goodness. Okay, so someone asked, do we think the trial is going to happen in May? Do you guys think the trial is going to happen in May? I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's getting around that unless they got kicked off the case, which I just don't think that's going to happen. Right.
Mark, what are your thoughts?
What is this about?
You guys have audio from me?
Saying that Rush County officer could be lying.
About what?
Because they has
Click
has a history of untruthfulness and credibility issues, which from what I'm gathering, what I'm hearing, I haven't seen the document yet, but what I'm hearing is
So
that
the prosecutor
been
has hard evidence on that.
They're asking about it.
That's
They
what
subpoenaed his documents today to prove it, he said. Yeah, so apparently there's something in his employee records that shows that he's been caught lying. Do what?
Okay, what's this prosecutor's track record?
He's
I don't
he's a
think
new
he has much
prosecutor.
of a track record.
He's new. He just started in 2018, and he's only been in Delphi as a prosecutor. I don't know what he did beforehand.
Wow.
Yeah,
That really sounds
Yeah, I
all
think
too
he's over his
familiar.
head.
it sounds a lot like yours.
Because the Tipton County prosecutor was appointed. The prosecutor went to be county judge, and they basically hired the deputy prosecutor, Jay Rich, into the prosecutor position and shoved the case over onto him after Gary Stout got sick with cancer, instead of appointing a new detective on the police force. So they're expecting the prosecutor and the state's detective to totally take over the case without a city detective.
Yeah.
And therefore this greenly, very green, wet behind the ear prosecutor totally
here,
lost
Wes.
this case from the beginning.
Wes, come here.
They had an
Yeah.
experienced prosecutor on it for the first few months. Don't neglect that part, because it was
Yeah.
what's
Right,
his name?
right.
Ives.
Yes.
Ives.
Yes. Yes.
But that goes to show, like Mark's case, Tipton, with his stepdaughter Tabitha, who was murdered at 16 years ago, long time ago. Okay, so
Sorry to hear that,
it's
Mark.
but
22
it's
years from
it's
October.
22 years. Yeah, it is. It goes to show that it's not just Delphi. These types of things and these types of scenarios happen in Tipton.
It's statewide. It's nationwide. It's not just Indiana.
It's every place
Where
has a
is
form of
Tipton
corruption.
County at?
So Tipton is how many miles are you from Delphi,
Or what
Mark?
city's affiliated with that?
Tipton.
Oh, Tipton's a city. See, I'm
40
born
miles.
in Indiana, and I don't know much.
So it's south of Kokomo, just south of Kokomo, but before
Copy that.
Indianapolis.
About 40
It's
miles.
about 40 miles south of Kokomo. You know where Kokomo's at, right?
Correct. Yeah, I just
it's near Frankfurt.
40 miles south of Delphi.
gotcha. That's horrendous, man. And you hear that? I was talking to Marv at the beginning of the show. Look at Huntington and Warren, like a friend of Blake and I on here. There's like 6 cases that he brought up that they didn't even really investigate. And going back 30 years.
That's crazy.
Oh, I can start naming cases all over the state.
Oh yeah, man. There's plenty.
There's
of
a
cases all
real
over the
bad
state.
one down in. There's a real bad one down in Fayette County. Jason Bolton from 1991. The people that actually killed him totally got off. They didn't charge anybody. They ruled it as a accidental death from Jason supposedly falling asleep in the street. But that's not the case once you see the autopsy report.
Oh, and see, Greeno, this is where I get into it with your old school content. Is I'm not a criminal. I have no criminal record, but I don't trust police at all. And I feel even if you're on the innocent side, like I listened to a lawyer out of Cleveland talking about it, if Richard Allen would have not gone out and said, hey, I was there, even if he's guilty, he wouldn't have been arrested.
Yeah, come up, Kelly.
Like, just don't talk to the cops. They're not your friend. Don't ever talk to the cops. Not without a lawyer's supervision.
Yeah, exactly. So the guy talking with the glasses on is Mark Tate, who is the stepfather of Tabitha, Shuck Rains. And if you don't know who she is, and you're here,
Check
you're new
out
to
my
my channel.
channel.
Yeah, check out Marv's channel. You want to look for the Memorial Walk weekend, which was just last weekend. Was it last weekend? 2
Honey,
weeks
there's
ago.
a whole,
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
There's a whole folder on it.
There is.
Playlist on Tabitha.
Hey,
Okay,
Mark,
there
do you have a link for Kelly to come on in?
I do. Hang on, I'll drop it right
Or
here, Kelly.
Greeno?
It's posted. Yep. Right there it is.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You guys are good. So Kelly Brown. Does everybody know who Kelly Brown is?
Is she a local?
No.
Kelly
No.
Brown is a woman who catfished Keegan Klein.
Catfish the
Oh
catfish.
my goodness, yeah.
So actually, here I'm gonna play a quick clip, and
Round
then
of
I'm gonna drop a link. But yeah, I want you guys to see who Kelly Brown is before she enters. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Last night on True Crime Investigates, we took you into the story of Connie Dillman because she thinks her ex-old man, Ron Logan, is the bridge guy. analyzing the story between Kelly Brown and Keegan Klein.
I know you see me with my wet hair.
What all did they talk about? And was it sexual in nature? We're gonna find out all that tonight, right here on True Crime Investigates. This is a Crime Nation review. Stories. The host of the Murder Sheet podcast dug deep into the case. They spoke with Klein in jail to get his side of the story. Join me as we explore Klein's shocking claims and examine if there is more to the story than meets the eye. But before we get into Klein's claims, let's understand who he is. Keegan.
Carroll County history.
Understandably angry.
Clothing from one
Dialogue or fake identities in attempt.
Their family
All right, I'm just
history.
skipping through some. Well, you know.
Contacted before she died.
They want to know if you or your kids interacted with that account. Today, we've learned they've identified the man behind that profile as Keegan Klein.
A predator posing as an attractive young man was contacting young girls. And one of the girls that he contacted before she died was Libby German.
Years since the girls were murdered, new information has come before, only for hopes to get high and the case to remain unsolved.
I was still motivated by the initial call of police asking the public for their help. My friend Kelly and I took that challenge.
And for years, Julie Melvin and myself were always saying, what were they doing on their phone? And bingo, here comes Anthony Schott's profile, and here comes social media. Boom. This is what teenagers do. Nobody's going to the skating rink or the arcade. It's all online.
detectives working on those Delphi murders are now looking for someone who created a fake online account, then used it to solicit child pornography and in-person meetings with young girls.
In December of 2021, police and the media make a big announcement, and that is that they've been able to link a guy named Keegan Klein, 26 years old, from Peru, Indiana, to the online profile of Anthony Schatz, the profile that's been soliciting young girls and getting nude photos.
Investigators say he was in social media contact with one of the girls the night before she died.
The police had this lead from the very beginning of the investigation. Anthony Schatz was on Libby's phone, found at the crime scene. Police were really using people like Julie Melvin and Kelly Brown. They were trying to extract information in any way they could and build their case.
Keegan Klein was waiting a trial on child pornography charges prior to his name being announced in relationship to this case. Law enforcement knew about Keegan Klein and his business in catfishing kids in 2017. Police raided his Peru, Indiana home. They would have taken his computers, cell phones, storage devices, any kind of electronics that might hold evidence of that crime.
Keegan Klein has been in jail, facing 30 charges of child exploitation, child pornography, obstruction of justice, and identity deception.
It's not difficult to believe that the girls may have been set up. Maybe they went there to meet Anthony Schatz and another predator was there.
It wasn't like Libby was totally naive. I feel somehow that this Anthony Schatz made her feel comfortable, that she let her guard down.
Two innocent girls who just happened upon a monster is something that everybody can feel very passionate about because it's horrific.
When the information about Keegan Klein was made public, he immediately became the subject on social media.
So this is what it looks like in jail now, which is like
horrendous. Oh my word, he just gives me the creeps, doesn't he?
He's a scumbag. He's scum of the earth level. And he needs to never see the light of day again.
We knew that Keegan was in jail and thought if Kelly just talks with him and gets to know him, perhaps we might be able to glean some information about this case.
I wanted him to confess that he had a part in the murders. He needed friends, he needed a support system, he needed somebody to talk to. I exploited his vulnerabilities in jail. My name's Kelly Brown, and now I'm all shy because I know you see me with my wet hair. I feel bad for you because you would think by now something would have happened.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I catfished the catfisher.
And you damn straight she catfished that catfisher. Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing them both on. There's Kelly Brown and Jessica back on the panel with us. What's up?
Hell yeah. Kelly, you're muted.
Yeah, Kelly, you're on mute. Unmute your microphone while you're
One's
driving.
in the
just
chat
so you
for
know.
Kelly.
Hey, what's up, Dr. Feelgood? Yeah.
What's up,
everybody?
Kelly?
Kelly, what's up? Are you froze? She's traveling to the desert of Arizona.
She's always traveling.
I know. Kelly, you're glitched up. Or are you catfishing us?
Not really her.
Not again.
Not again. Yeah. All right, Kelly. Looks like you're gonna have to rejoin or get a better connection. And Jessica's here. So
Yeah,
excuse me.
everybody,
But
hit that like button too while you're
Yes.
at it. While we're on pause.
yes, while we're on pause here, everybody, all you have to do is close that little X on your phone, click the like, and then go right back, and you can go back into the chat and talk all you want. And if you're on a computer, you already know how to do it. Or you wouldn't on a computer.
Hit the like, some comments.
Exactly. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, share this on social media. I'm
Get the
locked out of Facebook.
algorithm.
Yes.
You're locked
Hit
out of
the algorithm.
Facebook. Facebook's a pain in the ass, though.
Yeah,
You're
Facebook's-
okay. It's better.
I know they've screwed me over. It's like, oh man, Kelly, rejoin.
Yeah.
Anyway, so do you guys have any questions for each other? Me, anybody, any of these other guys?
Well, I think there's a lot of people here in chat that do you have a clip? Maybe you just given a little brief scenario of what happened. I mean, I think a lot of people just don't remember the story at hand. They're, they've got Mr. Potato Head and then Elvis and then all these other things. Do you want to just explain quickly about the Delphi case and what it's about? Truly, I think we lost sight of it.
Yeah, you know what? For anybody that wants to see a full long breakdown that understands completely what's going on and all these people involved, I have a timeline that goes up until February 1st. So all 7 years up until the beginning of February. So it doesn't have everything, but I would suggest watching that. But what the Delphi case is all about is Delphi, Indiana is in between Indianapolis and Chicago, and it's in the United States for anybody that's not in the United States. It's where I'm from. It's a small rural community in the middle of a cornfield, less than 3,000 people, and 2 girls were brutally murdered in the woods near a secluded high railroad bridge called the Monon High Bridge. And it happened in the middle of the day on February 13th, 2017. And they had a photo of the guy that was recorded on one of the victim's cell phones that was actually a video clip of him abducting them and pulling out a gun, ordering them down the hill. And for 5.5 years, all we looked at was a photograph of this guy and had no idea who he was. They issued another sketch, which was a younger male, and said it was the same guy, threw everybody off. And we didn't know what to think because they said the suspect was a young kid. They also said the suspect was an old man. We didn't know what to think. You got Keegan Klein, who Kelly Brown is going to talk about, who catfished the 2 girls and said he was going to meet him out there that day. Keegan Klein was found guilty of multiple sex crimes for soliciting young girls for nude images, trying to meet with them. He was never charged, but he was taken out of jail, searched the Wabash River near his home. 13 days later, or so many days later, they arrested Richard Allen after searching this river. We don't know if it's connected. That's the Delphi's case in a nutshell. Richard Allen's the only suspect who's been arrested. The defense team is saying that it's not him, that it's odinist guys that are involved in a Norse pagan religion that practices kind of like Satanism, but more like a Viking Satanism type deal.
Think of
White supremacy.
Thor from the Marvel movies. That's the religion. Thor and Loki and Odin.
Yep, that's the religion right there. So that's a Delphi case breakdown in a nutshell. We're getting ready to go to jury trial after 7 years.
Right.
And Keegan Klein is the guy who opened the biggest CSAM investigation in Indiana because he was catfishing young girls, including Abby and Libby. And the picture that he had on his profile the gentleman is now in Alaska, a police officer, but at the time he was a model. So
yeah, Vince Kowalski, he was actually the guy that, so this Anthony Schatz profile that he created was actually of a cop. Which, how stupid is that?
Right. That's what Bree just said. She came in chat and she said, that guy's a cop now. So I think a lot of people just are confused because so many things went down that just take away from the actual narrative. And yes, go to True Crime Investigates if you're coming from my channel or somebody else's. He has the best breakdowns and he does reenactments.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Hey, am I part of the show? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we'd love to hear you.
Telly, speak up. Telly, tell us what's going on.
Tell us.
Oh, I was listen, I was driving all the way back. I had no idea you could see me and everything, but yeah. Hey, listen. I just want to say this while I'm here. It is true that Libby and Abby were talking to all of these profiles that Keegan had. We know that.
Wow.
Okay. Yep. But the rest of it is. So did that get them killed? I mean, let's get real. Did that get them killed? We already know they were talking to all of these fake profiles that Keegan had. At 8:04 a.m., they're engaging in conversation, but let's not forget that they're not just talking about, like their favorite boy bands or their favorite song. I mean, they're really doing naughty things. That's why he got 43 years in prison. So, you leave your house and then you're dead an hour later. Something had to have happened before you ever leave your house, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah, and that's bizarre because it doesn't seem like, he's listed as a witness, right? But it doesn't seem like they're going down that road anymore. And you've had personal contact with him. I commend you for that because I feel like my skin would crawl being around the guy.
It was hard because, he really did scam Libby and all her friends. And if you think about how he was able to give all those other devices over real quickly. But
Wait
the
a
one
minute.
device.
This woman talked to this man?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
OMG.
Yes.
Let me mute
While
myself.
he was
I'm
in
going to mute
prison
myself.
or jail.
Yep. So the one phone that he was talking to Libby on, boy, he didn't want them to have that, remember? Oh, it's
That's
in
the
the
one he
market.
cleared, right?
Correct. That's the one that he, how they said in there, you erase this app and then you whatever it was, back and forth, erasing all the information. Because, when I said to him, you had pictures of the girls on your phone, I bet you were scared. How bad would it be when you have pictures of dead girls on your phone? You're talking to these girls and they end up dead by Deer Creek, Keegan. And he would always say, don't say that. He would never say, no, I didn't do that. Because we already know he did.
God.
Kelly, tell us about the Roblox thing.
Okay,
Yes.
and like for any of the fans out there of Greeno, we've got to get him. Did anybody save the Roblox video? Because if you're out there, if you're listening, remember that on YouTube, how graphic that was?
No, explain it. Explain what it is, Kelly. Explain what Roblox is. I have never heard of this, and I'm sure there's people that don't know what it is.
My 16-year-old loves Roblox.
Okay, now
you be careful with your kids in Roblox.
Let's listen.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So you know how it's very almost I wouldn't want to call it 3D. I don't know how to describe it. It's very real.
I'm
So
going to
in
look
the
up a video of that. Yeah.
It's like Minecraft.
in the Roblox video, it shows Kelsey pulling up with Libby and Abby and dropping them off, just like it's been explained, how she gets out of the car and says, "I love you." And then it shows the girls walking down the trail. It's almost like an Alice. It looks almost like a video game. Because if you've seen Roblox, it looks like sort of a video game. And they're walking, and then there comes the bridge guy. And it's very, very intricate. Somebody has taken their time to put this together. And then the end of it is scary. Abby's standing there fully clothed, and the dude is absolutely going to town stabbing Libby. And it's just bizarre because it was
Okay,
so
wait a
bad.
minute. Wait a minute. Time out. I'm a mom. I'm not a crime expert. Are you trying to say that Roblox predicted
Yeah.
crime
If
and that's
I
going
may,
to prove him
I'm-
innocent? This is
I'm a
insanity
parent.
to me.
No,
Why are we
I'm a
talking about a kid's show?
No, we're not saying that. We're saying
When
that.
were these things made?
Hey,
Hold on.
Here, I got a good example for you guys. Roblox is full of predators, and if you
Yeah.
get on the internet, you can find out somebody sent Kim Kardashian's kid her sex tape on Roblox.
Oh
that was all over the internet. Don't let
Why
your
didn't
kids
they
on
just-
Roblox.
Why didn't they
Kim
send
just
that
found
to
out
me?
she's decent at acting.
Because it's on,
Kim just
available
realized
online,
she's
Anthony.
decent at
It was so severe that, I mean, it was taken down. And just that's like it was with the TikTok, you guys. When Julie and I had, really, when you go on TikTok and there's those little comments next to the video, there's a picture of Libby bouncing a little bottle with an orange shirt on with a pig on it. And one of the comments said slaughter hog. And so,
Oh my
bizarre.
God,
And
that's
who-
not censored?
Are you saying that Keegan Klein made that video, or somebody
Well,
else just made it?
no, whoever killed them was watching them on TikTok because there was the Anthony Shots profile long before. This was in 2018, long before we knew about Anthony Shots. Julie and I were looking at the comments there on TikTok, Libby stuff, because we always stuck by the fact that, well, this is something oriented with the internet. Because that's what kids do. They're not going to the arcade or the skating rink. She was talking to all of these people on the internet. Now, did that end up getting her killed? We don't know.
Right.
That's
And
the whole deal.
your theory, Kelly, you've told me before, and I think you sum it up best. There's a lot of things going on in that town, but it didn't necessarily mean that those things were intertwined with what happened.
And also on the CW, they had to, they always said, we had to keep a lot of this stuff to ourselves because we wanted families to be able to watch the show and not have to have the kids leave the room. And therefore we had to leave out, the yellow app. It's
That's
a live
all I
stream.
know. That's
That
all
was
I know
bizarre
is
that they
the
left
stuff
that
they
in.
showed on Max. That's
Bring
all
that
I
up,
know.
Kelly.
Yeah,
Bring
because
that
I
up.
mean,
Tell everybody
that's-
what they really talked to you about behind the scenes, what they really
Well,
asked
I
about, not
mean,
what they put.
because when you have a 4.5 hour interview and you only end up with 8 minutes of screen time, 4.5 hours of just in-depth talking about, let's get real. I mean, this person really was on every dangerous app there is. A throwaway child from a broken home who's on the phone constantly, who the grandmother says, Libby always had her phone on her hip. Remember that? Because that
Looking
was
for love. Looking for
Look,
love.
exactly. So there you are. You're an easy target. And then, you got to realize you're already talking to Anthony Shots' profile. Proven fact. What's he doing?
He was a master manipulator. Is that what you saw?
Well, here's the deal on that. I don't know who in the audience has seen, what was done to them with those twigs and branches. But like Keegan said, people pay good money for pictures of dead children. So was that what Rick Allen was doing? Was he putting that on the internet? Was he putting it in that Dropbox? Because
Oh my God.
I mean, honest to God, that's the whole deal. The yellow app. They already said the Anthony Shots profile was using the yellow app. And what is that? It's a live streaming app. So what were they live
Like
streaming?
Telegram with Stearns
Dude, that's
and
what I'm
Maddie.
telling you.
Oh my God, I'm muting
That's what I'm
myself.
telling you this. I think that they really Because remember, there was Curtis Smithley that came onto my channel not too long ago and told everybody. I kept a secret for almost 5 years. He told me about this tip. He's like, look, dude, I'm a professional video enhancer, audio or photograph enhancer. I can do this. I need to talk to the sheriff about this tip. I think the bridge guy filmed it. And I think there's a camera on his hat. And I think that they may have streamed this somewhere. And the sheriff said, let's not talk about this to the public or on your YouTube
Well,
channel.
it's not the hat, it's the shoulder. And I wish I could, we could bring that up. They're on his shoulder. For years, we have thought, is that a backpack post? Or is that we would discuss, what is that? Yeah.
The audio box. What was it called, Jay? The audio box? The whatever it was?
I think it was audio box.
Video box.
Yeah,
video
was that
box.
on the
I think
back?
was it video?
Audio Vox.
Audio box.
I think.
Now,
So
I think
that's
I don't know
like
if all
going
these
down
are.
the snuff film route.
Yeah.
That was, and that's the thing. People have said there's tripod marks out there. The guy could have had his phone, right?
Well, you
Whoever-
have to
I don't know
remember
if it's
when.
Richard Allen, but
Remember,
he could have had.
remember when I talked to Keegan, and it was. Remember you guys that Texas shooting a few years ago, the big Texas shooting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
the Texas shooter
Uvalde.
used the Ubo app, right? And they had people in France, Germany, Spain, and Italy that had watched that live. So, gee whiz, I wonder how many people watched this live on the Yellow app.
Oh my God. I think about that one case. It was a guy in Sweden that testified. He saw a live stream of a
Yes,
child.
that's right. That's the whole deal on that. Is when I was talking to Keegan, I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "There was some shooting in Texas." And then the very next day, I go, "God, Keegan, that shooter used the same app that Anthony Shots profile used." And Keegan said, "I gotta lay down. I don't feel well." It's because he knew that I knew that he used that app.
But
Did
do
they
you
ever
think?
use the Telegram app? Do you know that?
No, the Yellow app.
But do you know
Well,
anything
these
about
guys
the
do it on
Stephen
Facebook
Stearns
Live too.
Telegram app?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So is it possible that Alan acted alone after all? I mean, maybe he lured Libby to the shows that day. That would explain how he knew that she was going to be there.
You're
See,
right.
that's where it gets confusing.
It
Right,
does.
because in a nutshell, and then I'll in a nutshell, and then I'll let you guys go. I just really have to say, there he is parking way far away over there at the CPS building. What had he been doing all morning? Had he been talking to the girls? In other words, it's 2:30 in the afternoon on a bright, clear winter day. How bad do you need to kill two people? What kind of chances are you going to take to kill two people at 2:30 in the afternoon and then mess around with their bodies, put those damn twigs and branches on their bodies in that weird way? What the hell?
Exactly.
Therein lies the rub.
And you know what, everybody, we've got this is a puzzle piece, and if we've considered all the pieces as like the pieces that letters of the alphabet, we've got A through F, and we're missing C, D, E. You know what I mean? We're just
way
missing
more
those.
than that, babe. Way
Yeah.
more
It's
than
that,
that.
yeah, it's that unknown. Is there they come. There's Betsy Blair walking away back to her car. And the next person that Libby and Abby see is Rick Allen. Boy, those three worlds collide. And then what?
And it's when those three worlds collided, that's what changed the course of the
I
whole.
ruined so many lives. Oh my God. Who is this woman? I love her.
You know what? That's Kelly Brown. She catfished.
Where they been hiding her? Where they been hiding her at?
I kind of keep to myself.
Who is it, Danny?
After all this.
Who is the guy that I saw it? I think Criminalities brought it up on her lives. Who's the guy that they based the sketch off of? He's a local convicted offender.
Probably
they based it off of somebody else.
It's almost a picture of that guy because one of the girls said it looked like that guy, but it wasn't
Well,
that
because
guy.
Give me Dale
and
DePaul.
I'll stand by.
I got you. I'm gonna pull up a photograph of him.
Remember the Long Shadow, the Yorkshire Ripper? They swore it was a Geordie. All these sketches. Come on.
It's
Well,
called
you know what? Well,
His
you know
name
what
is-
I was going.
Hold on
No,
a second. His name is
Yeah.
Jimmy Dale Duvall. That's him
That's
right
Jimmy
there.
Dale-
That's it. I
Yeah,
need to
he's the
screenshot
cemetery. He's
Hold on,
the
let me look for
cemetery.
this.
He's the cemetery caretaker. But
Yeah,
you
he
guys,
was cleared. I think. I
because
couldn't remember that. I knew you
because
guys
in
said
my
it.
Is eyewitness test? Was he there that day? Did they prove that?
No,
no,
Jimmy Dale
he had
Duvall was
been out
not.
there. He had been out there doing grave blankets.
He's a face they remember.
Well, you know what?
Apparently one of the people knew him and said it looked like him. I just couldn't remember the guy's name, and I knew Green Hill.
Eyewitness testimony
Yep.
and sketches, like they ruin so many cases. And this when they go in that tunnel vision. Oh my God.
Well, what it was is he had been out there doing grave blankets.
His job.
Well, you know what? Also,
Oh yeah, I wasn't accusing him. I just couldn't remember the guy's name, and I want to put it in my notes on my iPhone.
well, no,
But
he's
yeah,
a,
I can see
he's
it.
a
I can
he's
see
a convicted
the sketch.
rapist.
The sketch could make people think. It could mess up a jury.
Well, the sketch could screw a lot of
Well,
shit up.
and
because
I
if you
guess
go
I
watch-
bring it up. I'm sorry, Anthony.
No, you're okay, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say people keep doing the comparison to that photo, and it's like they know who the photo is. It's just they wanted people locally that knew somebody who looked like that. That's why I tell people don't rely so much on the photo, and even the state police said
You know
the
what?
same thing.
You know what
Yeah.
kicks my ass is when Rick Allen said, "I didn't see Libby and Abby out there."
Bullshit.
Well, hold on though. But by God, he's looking right at them because that's who is looking at them. That's the bridge guy. He's looking right at them.
Yep. I believe that too.
That's
They're
him.
his type.
Yeah, see,
Well,
I
the-
don't
do
know.
too.
I'm
See,
on
this
the
works.
fence.
This
What's
case
that?
gets all mucked up with all this stuff that we're talking about because I think it's all happened, but it's not connected to that particular case necessarily. And so, mistrial. Ugh,
The
I know.
webs of child pornography and that
perfect picture.
demographic goes like octopuses. They go
Well, because
like
you know,
roof and tree. It goes so far.
if you're talking to Keegan Klein, you're not just sending TNA, and that's why he got convicted for as long as he did. This isn't just some little TNA stuff. I mean, he got 43 years because it's aggravated stuff.
I mean, we're talking about like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, like take
yeah.
take a carrot and go in there and gag your toddler little boy. You know, your little brother.
As a mother, this
And
just
worse.
horrifies me.
And listen, this is what I want to say, everybody. I want everybody that says that Richard Allen is this stand-up guy and he needs to be defended and stuff like that. I want to, because he's never committed a crime before, right? He's such a good dude. Keegan Klein never been arrested either until he got arrested. And when he got arrested, he had over
Can I
30.
interrupt?
30. Hang on a second. He
Hey,
had
hold
over
on.
Yes, sir.
30
Yes, sir.
porn
Yes, Daddy.
charges for child kids, right?
Uh-huh.
So he had all this. So he really wasn't a good guy. He just never been caught for it.
Never
Richard
got
Allen is
busted.
the same way. Richard Allen is one of these pedophiles, weird dudes that's doing this throughout his whole life, and he just now got caught because he just now.
Yeah, because you know what? I feel like
Basically, a lot of pedophiles don't offend. There's so many of them that don't actually offend.
I feel like his wife at those pool tournaments, they said that the wife, you know, oh, Kathy Allen and mommy, I bet they know that it's him, but they're not going to say that. But you know, there he is at the pool tournaments, and Kathy Allen
Hugging
is
the little girls.
Wow,
Mhm.
I was gonna say I highly doubt somebody would do that. At least in my opinion. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the women in my life wouldn't put up with something like that.
Never. They have to
So
sleep
I
sometime.
can't go after
they have
Kathy.
to sleep sometime.
Look at the Gilgo Beach guy.
Okay,
His
guys,
wife had
let's
no idea.
not-
Okay, you look at O.J. Simpson, you look at Chris White, you look at Stacey Peterson, all of them.
Hold on, Kelly.
They forgive them. They forgive so many.
Hang
I just
on,
wanted
guys.
to talk to the dad.
Hold
The dad-
on.
Hold on, ladies.
Stop.
I'm gonna mute
Just
everybody.
stop.
I muted everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Please do not talk over one another. It's hard for the audience to hear the person talking.
All right.
So
Sorry
don't
if I
talk
mute you guys. If I mute you guys, I'm
over
muting you
one
because I
another.
can't hear. Yeah. So I think Dan has to go. Am I right?
No,
I'm good
it
as
was,
long as you want.
Blake.
Or I,
Oh no.
yeah.
Who's
He's
Blue
at
Eyed
home.
Trucker?
My buddy Blake.
Oh,
He might
okay.
have
So
gotten off here.
he had to roll out. I said, okay, all right. I thought that was you. That's cool. All right, so I'm only going to stay on for about another 10 more minutes or so because I'm getting tired, and I know it's late on the East Coast for you guys. But where do we stand with this case right now? I mean, because it seems like there's a lot of pushing of narratives and stuff like that, and pushing back of narratives. When you see something, you don't really know what's going on. What's going to happen now? I mean, are we just going to see this kind of stuff happen all the way up until the day of? Is that where we're at, or are we going to see some chilling out period here soon?
I think it's going to continue to the end.
I think it's going to keep going afterwards, to be honest.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, people are going to... I hope people move on, but no matter what happens, I think it's going to keep going just like this.
Yep. Don't talk over him, Chris. Go ahead. Here you go.
He's muted.
I know. You keep muting yourself, dude.
Yeah, I think I think after it gets out of the spotlight, let's say the trial does go, maybe it doesn't get a mistrial, and he gets convicted. I think it will be a little bit of you'll hear a little bit of people going on their channel and, we need to get him, we need to get another trial. There's going to be some people definitely complaining and having to eat their words, but then it's going to die down. I mean, people really don't care that much about Richard Allen. They just want something to talk about and a controversy.
Or not to be wrong.
I
think that's a big problem Rick Snay has. I think that his Ron Logan theory fell through, right? It's definitely not Ron Logan. So now he's clinged on to the state's corrupt. And it's right. That's what most of them do. And they get mad and people are like, well, where's your receipts? And show this, or it didn't happen. Okay, well, I never actually saw Rick Snay show me the crime scene photos. So can I say that he never had him? No, because he did. I believe him. Some things you just don't see, right? You can tell me about your personal life every day. Hey, what kind of car you got? Oh, I have this kind of car. I don't know, but I have to believe you. Now, you don't have to ever show me, but it might be true. You might have that car, right? That you tell me you do. I could say, I don't believe shit, but you don't have to show me because it's true, And that's just the way people get mad and then they take it out on people. Debate civilly, not hastily.
Well, there's a healthy debate we could talk about, and I'm okay with being wrong, but listen to what someone else is saying, and just because someone gets louder doesn't mean they're right. And I have every single person that wants to debate with me just gets louder and huffier, and then it's like, oh, okay, you're right. But Snay is one of those guys that just like comes at you and you don't even want to talk anymore. You're like, all right, whatever. So just because you're louder doesn't mean you're right, people.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was gonna say, and love each other. We all have a common goal at the end,
right. And remember,
if I debate somebody, I'm not going to scream over anybody. I don't know what the point of that is.
You're right.
And remember, if he's acquitted, it's all over.
No, it ain't. It ain't over. Nope. Because now I'm going to be those guys.
Well, he's probably not going to be investigated.
Now let me finish. It's all over for Richard Allen. But remember, they have not closed the tip lines. They have not closed this case. They are still investigating. And are there going to be other people? That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to start tipping in all these Richard Allen supporters.
And I would ask people to at least give Kathy Allen the benefit of the doubt, because a lot of these cases, when you find out these guys that, if it's him or anybody else, they have double lives and they do well. If you look into Gilgo Beach, that guy was doing the crap while his wife was out of the country and she had no idea. So just at least keep that in the back of your head. Him, their daughter, and her, that probably had nothing to do with it. And they were at that bar with the picture of the guy in the background. Like
they were swingers. They were swingers, though. She did know that he was having women over and paying sex workers. Did she have an idea that he was murdering them? Probably not. But she was a swinger with him. Just FYI.
Oh yeah.
Gilgo Beach. Gilgo Beach is his wife was a swinger, and he would bring sex workers over. They would happen to disappear afterwards. Her hair was on one of the sex workers' body that they found.
Right.
Belt also.
Yeah.
Her belt was their initials on it.
Yeah,
Did you see they found today? They're looking at another woods in somewhere in Manhattan, Manorville or something. So that's a good
Wow.
one for people to check out. They're investigating more bodies, or at least looking for more bodies today.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
swingers
keep looking.
Yeah, swingers are coming up, Davey, because people are trying to implicate the wife, and I don't think she has culpability in the murders. Just because you let your wife have sex workers come over doesn't mean that you murder her. So that's why it keeps coming up.
Have you guys thought about all these weird cases? Like these theories, and like back in the day, someone got arrested. It used to be like, I didn't do it, he did it. Okay. Nowadays, it's fucking.
Well, Greedo,
This group of swingers did it, or these odinist guys in the woods did it. You know,
Look at
now.
Dahmer. Dahmer had bodies in his house, and people were coming over and having sandwiches with him.
They didn't like the sandwiches, but hey.
Well, no, they were saying that it
Just-
smelled, and it's like, what the hell?
I know that's bad. Speaking of that, oh yeah, I also wanted to mention this. So here, coming soon, probably maybe next weekend if I can do it. If I can swing this next weekend, we should have. I need some contestants to participate in True Crime Jeopardy. So, Intertwined podcasting host Jay has created a whole video game, Jeopardy, where we can play it right here live, and it is awesome. We've got who is the famous faces. It's all true crime, and I need 3 participants to face off against each other, and we're gonna have a good time and talk about true crime, right? So maybe next weekend I need people to play this game with us.
I'm in if I'm in.
You're in? All right, I'm
Stuff's
game.
always fun, man.
It
I'll
is
shoot
gonna
you an
be fun.
email.
Yeah, do so. My
okay,
email address is on the
Anthony.
screen. What's up?
I think I might do okay if you have an empty spot.
There will be. We'll have
right.
you, him, and whoever else wants to be. You, Dan, and
I did it last time. Somebody else gets to go this time.
you, Dan, and somebody else.
I'm okay
We'll
with
find-
it.
All right.
It sounds like a fun weekend to me.
Yes, we got Jay, Dan, and we'll find somebody else. Somebody else that wants to play, one of the contestants or viewers can play as well.
We'll find out how lacking our knowledge is. It's always fun finding out how much we don't know.
You know what? I didn't know half the questions that came about, so we had to reorganize them and make them at least somewhat easier because they were hard.
Jay is very he gets technical with his stuff, and his vocabulary may be a little bit different.
He's intricate. Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I have to roll out. You guys can stay if
I
you
do
want.
too.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
hungry.
Quick question.
I'm gonna
Quick question.
Sure. What's up, Mark?
Yes.
Quick question. So it's getting ready for trial. Has anybody seen any orders of Lamine?
There's several of them.
No.
What's the
Motions and
prosecutor
Lemony? Is
keeping-
that what you're
Yes.
talking about?
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
the prosecutor keeping from the jury's eyes?
We
Or
don't know
vice
yet.
versa.
Because
Yeah.
that was a big issue on Tabitha's murder case. Well, the Elizabeth Balser murder trial, but the prosecutor lamined a whole bunch of stuff out of the eyes of the jury that would show that wouldn't show reasonable doubt that Andrew Bush
Part of it, Mark, is
was
that
telling the truth.
the judge hasn't had any motions or hearings to do a motions of Lamine. So as far as we know, there isn't one.
Well, those are motions. So motions in Lemony are basically motions that are unresolved. Now they're challenging the ballistics on the firearm. I know that, and they never really. I think that the judge ordered on that one, but they didn't order on all these. They should. She should. I know this case is trickery. It's there's too much corruption, or it's not really corruption. It's just too many mistakes on everybody's part. You know, I think.
Yeah.
So May 13th, though, let's clarify that they're gonna pick the jury on the 13th, right? The trial didn't start on the 13th.
There's 3 days of jury selection, I believe.
Yep, and then opening
And then
statements.
6 days a week trial for 3 weeks.
Yep. So we're gonna start on Friday, right?
With
So-
Memorial Day in there as well, the poor jury.
Yep. So we have.
And they're sequestered.
Yep, the 17th. So they're sequestered from where you're from, Allen County, to Delphi. for opening statements, which start on May 17th. So this is the information right here. So that is Richard Allen's case. It's set for jury trial in Carroll Circuit Court, which is in Delphi, Indiana. May 17th is when that's going to start, opening statements. And we're going to have the live stream. Live stream's already set on my channel.
Anthony, I had a question for you since you're local. Where can you order pizza at for these people that are going to be outside? Because I heard the Pizza King closed. Is that true?
Yeah, the King closed. Someone else got Pizza Hut's right there.
Okay. I told CJ and all them, whoever goes, I might go out there for a day and say hi to people, which, I mean, I'm nobody, but I was going to order pizzas for everybody outside.
And Marv did that.
Crapshoot.
Marv did that. We all went to eat at Pizza Hut, and Marv bought all the pizzas. Marv and
Awesome.
Incognito.
I wish they had a Little Caesars. That'd be cheaper.
Yeah, I know, dude. They don't. But you know what? If I called ahead of time, and I can organize with them because they were my sponsor for our March for Justice event. Pizza Hut was. Remember that, Marv?
Awesome.
They were one of our sponsors. They gave us free stuff all the time, so we might be able to hook that up.
So you're going to be there in Delphi, or you're just streaming it? I can't remember.
Don't know.
What's that?
Guess we'll find out when trial. You talking to me?
Yeah, Greeno. I didn't remember if you were going to be there.
Guess we'll find out when trial happens. I don't want to give away my hand too soon.
Oh, it's a surprise. Okay, we're playing poker.
We got to come out with a bang, dude. Boo! I'm here, everybody.
Just nobody start any fights, please. We
No,
already had that the last time. Not you. I just think people are like, you know who I'm talking about.
Hey, man, anybody looks at me wrong, I'm falling on the floor and be like, he hit me, dude. He hit me, everybody. Judge Gall, help me. She'd be like, did Noe hurt you? I'm like, well, it wasn't Noe. Rick? No, it wasn't Rick. It must be the Odinist guys. All right, guys, I got to roll out of here. I appreciate all of you guys jumping in here and talking.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks, everybody. Great show. Thanks, Greeno.
And yeah, thanks for streaming it on your channel. I appreciate it for more exposure. I still want to say thank you to everybody that donated to my documentary fund. I got 4 days left on it. If you guys still want to contribute to that, you can. If not, it's not required. That's what we're at as of the start of this stream. The documentary fund is posted in my description and on my channel. Other than that, everyone else has their own respective PayPal accounts and channels on their links or on their pages that you guys can go. I don't have them all right here on this thing. I need to set them up on Mars. Unless you guys have them on here, put them up there if you got them. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming on here. And I want to do this more often as we continue to get closer to Delphi. I would like to generate more conversation because there's not a lot of news other than documents. More opinions and civil conversations like is well deserved.
Right.
You know, I think the viewers appreciate
your phone, your internet's cutting out, but it's nice to have people come on here. Yeah, it's nice that people found you or find me. I see a lot of people on there that came from my chat earlier, and they're like, "Yes, Greeno," and well deserved.
Yep.
Cool.
So thank you.
Thank you very.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for all you do. Justice for Abby and Libby.
Love you, Mark.
Have a good one.
Love y'all.
Later, dude. All right. I don't know. Am I cutting out? Am I cutting out real bad, everybody?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you were cutting out.
Okay. I thought I was there for a second. Okay.
Yeah, you were.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and push the. Do we have an outro here? Oh, I got one. Yeah. I got an outro
I don't know.
Yeah, I got one. All right. You want me to go ahead and push it?
Yep. We are checking out for the evening. Remember, we are a voice for the voiceless, and justice matters for each and every single one of these cases.
Southern style.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, then hit that like button, share it on social media, then subscribe for updates, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of the action. On that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno. True Crime Investigates. Keep it Southern style, y'all.